I am joined by the always so trusty Mr. Rusty Shackelford,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tex Johnson,
Top three, top three, top three, top three.
Mr. Jamar Burrows,
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Mr. Malachi.
I'm here.
Is your arm okay? Mr. Marcus Fox,
New York in the
Hey,
building.
pause.
What up?
Pause.
Mr.
Hey, Jackie.
Boyd.
Jackie.
Oh, what's up?
They had to
Oh,
start
sure.
over the live, so we got to start over.
Oh, we got to do it again? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I don't care.
You trying to be funny?
No, we're trying to be professional.
No, we're being serious. We're trying to be
We're
professional.
being serious.
Okay. Let me start over. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Reporter Rumble. First time back since before Doomsday. And I am joined by the ever so trusty Mr. Rusty Shackelford,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tex Johnson,
Top three, top three, top three, top three.
Mr. Malachi,
I'm here.
Mr. Marcus Fox,
Yeah.
Mr. Jamar Burrows,
How we doing, everyone?
and Mr. Romy Savage.
JELLO.
And I, of course, am Mr. Oliver Skip. And right over there, of course, how could we forget the man, the myth, the legend, the highest paid reporter in GW history, FBW history, and of course, SMW history, Mr. Number One, Mr. Vui.
Hello guys, how you doing today?
I am well. I mean, I'm excited to kick off this episode. I am. Because we have a lot to talk about. We haven't been here for, a little bit, just about 2 weeks or so, and I feel like we have a lot of is Doomsday. I mean, what a special event that it was, Doomsday. We crowned a lot of new champions, a lot of champions, retained, we saw a lot of new stars born, and I feel like we should take the time to, just discuss, some of the results and things like that. And just the amazing card that we had for Doomsday. And, the first thing I kind of want to talk about is Mr. Jackson Drake. He made history at Doomsday, becoming a quadruple champion. Only person to hold 4 championships at once. And while it was short-lived, he earned the nickname the History Maker. He held 4 titles at once, And holding 1 title in itself is already hard enough. But holding 4, at any given time, is a feat to be marveled at, And I want to know, what are your guys' thoughts on, Jackson, achieving, something that a lot of people, some people won't even achieve being, double champion, So what are you guys' thoughts on Jackson Drake becoming a quadruple champion? I'm going to turn it to Tex first to get his insights.
Well, yeah. I think Jackson becoming a quadruple champion is something that we will probably never see repeated again in the multiverse. It's one of those things where you gotta see it to believe it. And for us to see what he was able to do in the multiverse is something that will go down in the multiverse history. I think he will be the only person to ever do it. Just everything was lined up so perfectly for him to do that. And he exceeded at every opportunity that he was given, I tip my hat to him. That was very, very impressive. pretty sure everybody probably hates him because they're like, damn, now I want to be a quadruple champion. But the odds of that happening is very, very slim. All eyes are on him right now. This man has been firing on all cylinders, showing everybody what, why he is probably, now that we're way past it, he's probably the best KXT call up out of that KXT. Those 2 weeks that KXT was being called up. I think it's safe to say that he was the best call up out of all of them. Those are my thoughts.
Jamar, what are your thoughts?
It was a historic weekend for Jackson Drake. He put on a showcase this weekend that I don't think we're gonna ever probably get the opportunity to see. Holding 4 championships at one time is ridiculous to think about. I mean, the talent that Jackson Drake has in general is outstanding. We all see his in-ring presence. We all see his out-of-ring presence. Like, he has the it factor, and he showed it this weekend by capturing more gold to add to his resume. This is just a start for Jackson Drake, honestly. And I said this a week ago, I believe, or 2 weeks ago, but he's the future of professional wrestling. Like, he is that guy that can carry the industry for the next 10 years if he wants to. So I'm excited to see what else Jackson Drake can really do here in the SMW multiverse, because he has so much more left in the tank and he hasn't even gotten started yet.
All right, Mr. I want to hear Mr. Romy Savage's thoughts actually on this.
Okay, a couple things I want to say about Jackson Drake that I've noticed. One, he's definitely a generational talent. The way he carries himself. But there's something I've noticed that he's different from a lot of the competitors, and it's not a diss because he's not overly talented. There's nothing really special about him, but he has hunger. He has a drive. He's driven to be the best. He's driven to get these titles. He's driven to want the spotlight. He wants to carry the load. And you don't see that from a lot of stars, especially coming out of KXT. But he wants that. He wants the spotlight. He'll fight anybody. He'll jump to any challenge, So when we got him on Prime, it was definitely a benefit to us, as we're trying to be the number one show. But when you have somebody who's down to make history repeatedly, and just keeps going and going, like, it's a great thing to watch. And like I said before, there's nothing really special or flashy about him, but his hunger, he's just driven to keep winning and keep attacking. And you don't see that with a lot of superstars. They get deterred, they lose and they fall out. This guy loses the championship, gains another one. The boy just keeps going, And, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of impact he's going to make in SMW, especially if he stays driven the way he is.
I definitely agree. I think that, like you guys were saying, this is something that I don't think will ever be replicated, at least not for a very long time. I feel like the circumstances have to be so specific for that to happen again that I don't know if it'll happen again. And to be able to put yourself in the spot to get those opportunities for that to even line up is very commendable by Jackson Drake. And, I feel like, KXT superstars that are watching and listening should all, take notes on, Mr. Jackson Drake and what he did, him coming from nothing, starting out in KXT with an 0-3 record and going on to hold, 2 world championships at the same time, hold 4 championships at once, that's very admirable, and it's something that I think that it is very okay to say that these KXT superstars should look up to a guy like Jackson Drake. You know, um, yeah, just very very phenomenal showing from Jackson, and I'm very much looking forward to what he does next. And speaking of Jackson Drake, Mans was working triple duty because he also had a tag team title match that night, which was part of the four titles that he won. Winning those global tag team championships, in a stellar performance as well, and I think that, you know, I think that tag team tournament, that tag team Grand Prix, really showcased that some of these guys, um, work much better together than we initially thought, you know. Because, a lot of people can say like, hey, we work together and, we're in a faction, or, we're this, that, and the third. But not a lot of people can actually show that unity like Jackson and Ramon did when winning those global tag team championships from the Red Line. Um, you know, and so I think that, as long as Jackson Drake continues this hard work that he's been showing and proving, um, who knows? Maybe he might be quadruple champion 2 times. Who knows? I think that's possible. Now, anybody else doing it, I don't know. But 2-time quadruple champion Jackson Drake, I feel like maybe it could be a possibility. But hey, who knows? Exactly. Who knows? Who knows? Speaking on another match that happened, this was very interesting. The SMW World Heavyweight Championship match between Deshaun Walker, Raiden Wilson, and the mystery opponent being the Big Chief, Damian Saint, the only 2-time KXT Universal Champion. And Deshaun Walker came out on top. This was as dominant as a performance as ever. Deshaun really needed this win to prove, that he wasn't, a transitional champion. A lot of people were talking like, hey, Deshaun, he hasn't really beaten anybody, or, Deshaun this and that, or he's the second best or third best world champion in FTB and things like that. And he went out there and he said, okay, bet. Watch this. He took it personal. Like Michael Jordan, he took it personal. Marcus, I want to get your thoughts on this match, this performance, and what do you think Deshaun Walker goes from here?
Going into that match, there was a lot riding on, his legitimacy as a champion, right? He's gone through some things, but this is one of those times where it's like, does he have it, and can he win in a multi-man match? Raiden came from the DW1. And again, that's another story we can talk about later, how, no one thought that he would win, but he did win, and he earned his way into the match. And then a debuting superstar, unbeknownst to the champion and the challenger, this was a statement victory for a multitude of reasonings. Deshaun really went in there in a match that he's not comfortable with. He has stated it before. I've heard him say it plenty of times. He is not comfortable in these multi-man situations. And he went in there and he came out on top. And this is one of those wins that's going to go down for him as a statement win.
I definitely agree. Voy, what do you think about this win for Mr. Deshaun Walker? Getting a huge win in a match type, like he said, he isn't comfortable in. What do you think this does for Deshaun's stock, in SMW?
I mean, currently it does bits for his I would say for his overall career. The fact that he's able to, take on not just one individual, but two individuals in that same match and pick up the victory is a big thing for him. But at the same time, I do hope that, he doesn't take a back step, since Doomsday is over, the fresh year, fresh start, he can just relax. No, there are individuals still gunning for his title. And I feel like he needs to really pull up his pants and get back to work. I saw his performance yesterday in Platinum for the first time officially on the roster. And, he didn't have the best showing. Also on Supreme as well, leaving Supreme to go to Platinum, coming back home, but still couldn't put in that work. And I believe that, the fact of just winning, it probably got to him, and now he is, in relaxed mode. And I feel like he really needs to pull up his pants and get his shit together because the year just started and it's going to be a long one.
I definitely agree. Jamar, any thoughts on what Voy said, or any would you like to piggyback off of what he said?
Yeah, I'll absolutely piggyback on what he said. Well, for starters, the Doomsday one was huge for Deshaun. I mean, we've seen that he kind of struggles a bit in multi-man matches, which, I mean, understandable. Not a lot of people are good in multi-man matches. You're dealing with a lot of factors, but he showed up and he got the win and retained his title at Doomsday. But this week, he took two, I would say, tough losses, even though it was to good opponents. Two losses to Victor Tolos and Eric Myers as the world champion. It kind of gives off a little bit of, a certain vibe to it. That, sure, you can win when, the title's on the line, and that's when you're supposed to win. But, like, are you slacking when the title isn't on the line? Is it something that you're kind of like just taking it easy when you don't have to? Like, these are two quality opponents that I feel like you should most definitely be trying to give it your all. And Deshaun just didn't have enough to beat these two men this week. I think he bounced back from it though next week. I really do, because Deshaun is known for kind of going on streaks, whether that's wins or losses. So I feel like now that he's got these two losses out of the way after Doomsday, I feel like he's now focused on the path of getting back to his winning ways. I feel like he will get back to that path sooner than later, I hope. Because, he really needs to show that he deserves to have that world championship around his waist.
And I think in wrestling, a lot of times I feel like champions sometimes after big wins they get kind of comfortable, they get complacent. They're riding that high, and they think that, oh well, I got through this, I got over this mountain of a task. Now I'm just gonna kind of relax for a bit, But I feel like it should be all gas, no brakes at all times for, especially for champions, because there's always that target on their backs, as long as they hold that title, because that's what everybody wants. That's what people think is going to make them a star. People think it's going to give them respect or recognition or whatever, what have you. And so I think that I do agree with you. I think that next week is the week that he turns it around. I feel like it's going to click in his head like, all right, I got my win at Doomsday. I was riding my high. I was just still excited about beating two people in the same night. Now it's time to get back to business. Business is about to be handled. You know, yeah, I definitely feel like that is the mindset for him going forward. Especially if he wants to prove, hey, Deshaun Walker isn't a free win. You know, so I'm definitely excited to see where Deshaun goes from here. I'm very, very eager to see how he bounces back next week. Going into the one of our next matches here that was on the card. Excuse me. How could I not talk about the opening match? Sebastian Saint versus All Hurt Ace versus Mr. Showtime, Kid Ray, and finally, we can say Sebastian has Delilah now. And I think that, this quest for Delilah was a long journey, and it's very admirable to see, superstars kind of stick to one path, and actually complete that goal, complete that path that they set out on, and I feel like, and this is no diss to Mr. Kid Ray or anything like that, but I just feel like Sebastian needed this win more than Kid Ray did. I feel like Kid Ray, he's kind of a made man in SMW a bit. I feel like he'll be a main event mainstay, and we'll see, his name, in the headlines and in magazines and things like that throughout the year. But for Sebastian, this was probably, one of his last few chances to try and prove, that he isn't a seller, he isn't a loser, that he can actually get it done when it matters. And he did. And now it's up to him to bring, prestige to that SMW Honors Championship, and I feel like he's the right person to do it, God himself. I do want to see if I can get Mr. Voivoy's thoughts once more on, Sebastian finally winning that honors title.
Yes. Actually, I did say it earlier this week that Sebastian Saint picking up that title, to me as a reporter, is a big thing because I've been watching this individual for quite some time, and his first stint as champion didn't go exactly how he planned. It wasn't as long as he thought it would have been, but this one, I believe it's his time. I mean, the week started off pretty well for him in this early year, but I still feel like, there's still some screws to tighten, some kinks to put some oil in, and I feel like he's gonna be a very, very good honors champion. Well, he calls it Delilah, and moving forward, he did offer the chance to the younger generation. I haven't seen a lot of individuals, giving the younger generation, their time to shine, and I'm happy that he's able to do that. I'm happy that he's able to do that, and I do hope it goes exactly how he expects it to go. Bring prestige to the title. We haven't seen a lot of individuals bringing a specific prestige to the title, making individuals want the title. But I hope that he's able to capture the eyes of certain individuals and draw them in to come for the title. We can't have a champion calling out individuals. We need people to call out the champions and state that they want the championship. And if they don't, well, I guess we'll be looking at another Jackie Jonathan 2024.
Tex, I want to know how you feel about Mr. Sebastian Saint finally picking up that honor title, and what do you think he can do for that title that the last holders didn't?
First of all, I think it goes without saying, congratulations to Sebastian Saint. This man has been the one guy who I feel like the fans ended up warming up to, even though he's a complete jackass. The fans ended up warming up to him just because of the hard work and dedication he put in to, winning and going after said title, and to finally get it on the grandest stage of them all, not only losing in every title match before that, and to finally win it, man. It was amazing to see, man. It was amazing to see. I felt like everybody jumped out their seats and was cheering, One of the biggest pops in SMW history when you heard that recount hit for Sebastian Saint, You could tell he won the hearts of a lot of fans out there. But what he can do for this title, I mean, he can do everything that the GMs wanted this title to be, and that for it to be prestigious, that for it to be a title that just isn't like what was the briefcase that we call, like a choose your fate? Was that
Choose
that
your
what it
fate
was?
briefcase.
Yeah, not like a choose your fate briefcase, just cash in and then we're done with it, Like he's actually trying to do something with it. He doesn't even want to cash it in. He just wants to keep it. That's really, really amazing that he's doing that for this title, I feel like that should be the standard for when, if he ever unfortunately loses said title, I feel like that should be the standard from here on out. Because what he's about to do and what he's doing so far is just amazing. Going from show to show, calling out top tier people. He's not even fighting, like he's fighting the best of the best when he's as champion. That's all you can really ever ask for. Even if he comes up with the L, he's going back next week and he's doing the exact same thing. So he's already doing everything he can. And he's also talent relations for KXT. So this man is doing everything plus more. And he's still being a great Honest champion. Safe to say that the Honest Championship and Sebastian Saint is going to be good for a very long time.
I feel like this was a very big win, not only just for him, but for the honors title as well, because now I feel like it has a proper holder to actually do the title justice, to show, what that title can be and what it stands for. I do want to get the thoughts of Mr. Romy Savage, and a bit of a interesting question for you, Mr. Romy. But I want to know how you feel about Sebastian finally winning that title. But then I also want to know, how do you feel, as an FTB member alongside Mr. Sebastian? How did you feel when he won that honors title?
Well, we were very proud of him. I know I was. If y'all don't know the story of Sebastian Saint, he's been looking for his Delilah. That's what he calls her, for a very long time. So just to see him to finally achieve his dreams and to finally get his goal is a beautiful thing. And I think he's going to do really good with that title. No one loves Delilah more than Sebastian. No one's going to fight harder. No one's going to take care of that title more than he is. I mean, he does things to that title that even Ronnie Savage might even frown at, and that's hard to say, you know what I'm saying? So, just like I said, just to be there and share that moment with him was a very good thing for us. And he's going to be a great champion, man. You'll see.
Yeah, I think I can speak for all of us when I say, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but thank you, Sebastian, for taking home that title and, making it something great, because I feel like already what he's done for this title is probably the best we've ever seen it be showcased. So I'm very excited to see what he does with that uh, honor this championship, or should I say, with Delilah. um, you know, um, and speaking of Romy Savage, I guess I might as well match. Jaden Aries taking on Mr. Romy Savage for that SMW Prime Heavyweight Championship. And this was, I feel like this was kind of reality for Mr. Aries, unfortunately. I don't think it's the end of his world championship chase, but I think it was reality kind of hitting him in the face, or I guess making him kiss the ring, and kind of striking him back down from the heavens. He came in there with a set goal in mind. That was walk out finally a world heavyweight champion, and his boyhood dream did not come true, unfortunately. Romy Savage retaining his Prime Heavyweight Championship, and Mr. Aries going down to KXT, to start anew, and I want to know, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Mr. Malachi. I want to know, what do you think is next for Jaden Aries as it pertains to KXT? Like, what do you think he'll do down in KXT, to set him apart?
What Jaden Aries can do on KXT. Now, Jaden Aries said that when he came down to KXT, he gonna be doing it for the KXT wrestlers and bring back the name of it. And I love that for Jaden Aries, because Jaden Aries can do so much for these KXT wrestlers, these rookies on KXT. Some we got so many titles he could win too. He got the Invasion champion. He got the Pure Wrestling Championship, and he could win the Universal Championship. He could do so much for the wrestlers that some people wouldn't do. Some people are afraid to come right back down to KXT because they don't want to go back to all the grind. But Aries enjoy the grind, and Aries enjoy that he get to wrestle the KXT boys again. He loved that he get to teach these wrestlers what to do this and what you should do better than me on the main roster. So I love that Aries is taking time out of his career to do all this for the people I love in KXT. Because if nobody else gonna do it, he's gonna do it, and he proved that. He proved that right now. And I won't lie, I would love for him to go for a Pair Wrestling Championship. People think of that championship as an afterthought of mine, and I feel like that's not. I feel like that's not what it is. I feel like that's a good mid-card championship to start off your reign in KXT that can beat yourself up and go for the Universal title. Some people haven't even got a chance to even go for it. So I'm positive I want him to go for that after he get done doing all of his other business. But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
I have to say, Malachi, I agree. I think he should go after that Pure Wrestling Championship, because I 100% agree. I do think it feels like a bit of an afterthought sometimes, which is unfortunate because it's a very nice looking title, you know, and I feel like, like you said, it could be that propeller, that springboard towards that KXT Universal Championship, you know. Tex, what do you have to say about, Aries down in KXT now? New avenue, new faces, completely new talent he's facing. This is a whole new playing field for him. So, what do you think he can do down there differently from what he did on the main roster? Mr. Tex Johnson.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. What was your question?
I said,
About
what do you
Jaden
think?
Aries? About Jaden Aries?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Honestly, Jaden Aries was one of the people on the main roster before he went down to KXT that I always consider him world championship material, you know. And to see him, you know, put his main roster spot on the line just showed what that world title meant to him. And, you know, unfortunately, he did come up short, but nonetheless, what a phenomenal showing. Because I think that was the most locked in we've ever seen Jaden Aries in a match. And the fact that Romy still pulled out that victory just shows, like, damn. I feel like we don't give Romy enough credit that he deserves since he's won that prime heavyweight championship. But I'm gonna talk about that after I talk about Jaden Aries. But I feel like Aries going to KXT is exactly what KXT needed after Damian Saint left. Just for the mere fact there, KXT always is missing that one guy. They always need that one guy to step up and like keep the brand awake at all times. And I feel like Jaden Aries is that exact person. His first day down there, I think he cut like 7 promos. That is insane, but phenomenal showing from him. You know, he's making a lot of people proud. I feel like that the Pure Wrestling Championship would be great for him, but I feel like that KXT Universal Championship is where he needs to be. Anybody can make the Pure Wrestling Championship prestigious. Anybody can make the Invasion title prestigious. Not a lot of people can make that KXT Universal Championship prestigious. As of right now, our champion, who I don't really know what he's doing, but he's not being the champion that KXT needs. I didn't say anybody for the KXT Universal Championship. I said not a lot of people, but I feel like that when it comes to the mid card titles, I feel like anybody could, you know, hold it. I feel like it's a slim choice of people when it comes to that Universal Championship.
I think I have to disagree.
Oh well, no, obviously not him. I feel like that goes without saying. I feel like that goes without saying.
I was about to make a counter for it and say,
Yeah.
Mr. Keaton, but
but you know,
guys akin to Keaton, you know, what kind of sort of like Keaton, you know, I feel like guys like that we don't need holding these mid card titles. But yeah, like this comment says, who are those people that you think, you know, that can be Universal Champion right now? Who do you think, Tex? I'm curious. Because you know, I don't know. Marcus, I saw you said you wanted to say something, so go right ahead.
Yeah, I feel like yes, Jaden Aries has been, you know, sent down to KXT, but he has the chance to do something that no one has done, and that's, you know, possibly go after every title while still elevating the brand. I don't think we don't have a Triple Crown champion yet, do we? I don't think we do. Someone who's
No, we don't.
yeah,
I don't think so.
And that has an interesting opportunity if he so chooses. I mean, I know right now he's still, you know, getting his footing. He's doing what he has to do, but, you know, he can be among, you know, rarefied air. I don't think a lot of people were even thinking about doing it. I remember we mentioned Prince Cody at one time possibly doing it, but Jaden now has that opportunity to do so. And I think that could be a goal for him. So that when he does come back to the main roster, he's coming back with a lot more than most people. That was my thoughts on that.
I saw Mr. Rusty Shackelford patiently waiting. So, yeah, go ahead, Rusty. Give your thoughts.
Yes, hear me?
You're a
Barely.
bit quiet. You're a bit
Barely.
quiet.
Okay, give me 2
All right, while we wait for Mr. Rusty, yeah, I saw someone say, that Spades is also down in KXT, which is very interesting as well. We can touch on that next as well. Go ahead, Mr. Rusty.
Okay, cool. No, I had heard what everybody was saying, and I just wanted to give a quick thought on it as well. As y'all had stated, Jaden Aries' goal after leaving FTB on the main roster was to touch that world, title, that goal that had eluded him for so long. And I know that he said that he was after the Invasion Championship, and we're talking about all 3 championships. But I think what needs to be stated is the Universal title needs to be his end goal, if it is a goal, because that's kind of like that first taste of the world. And yes, it's on the developmental brand, but I think as we've seen through the end of the year, through the start of this year with KXT, developmental is my title. KXT is really picking it up, and to get somebody like Jake Aries and just makes it even that much more going. And I think his last step before going back up to the main roster, if he does for a while, is going to be that Universal title, because that's going to be like him showing, hey, it's like a graduation moment. Like, once he grabs that title, hopefully holds it and does great things with it, like Raigo Kobayashi and Leaf Cannabis. But once that title reign is done, I feel like that'll be like the full graduation moment. We get to see somebody who's developed himself, built up a brand, become a face of that brand, then gets to move up and finally attain that goal that he's been going after so long. And with Jaden Aries being the star that he is, that it's gonna happen. I mean, it's just a matter of time. But I'm gonna say this to Mr. Jaden Aries, if he's out there listening. The group of KXT guys, Ryko and Chiefs era, that weren't exactly, they built up KXT to be another level now. So don't go into the KXT area thinking, things are going to be easy. There's a very heart-driven competitiveness down in the KXT area. So as much as I believe in Mr. Jaden Aries, just keep that eye over your shoulder. Make sure you're, crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's, and give what we know you can, man. And I believe Mr. Wave is right beside me. To say something.
Yes, I did. Honestly, I want to say that this is a big opportunity. That's one for Jane Aries. A big opportunity for KXT, because we have had individuals come from the main roster, go down to KXT, and still turn out to be nothing. Okay? Or when I say nothing, sometimes they start off well, but then they lose touch because it's KXT. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with Jaden Aries. Now, the type of individual I've seen Jaden Aries to be, I believe that should not be the problem with him. He's going to be able to hold his own. But my one piece of advice to Jaden Aries that he had on the main roster, he wanted to rush to glory. Yes, everyone is saying that he should go for this title and that title. But at the same time, I feel like you should just make a legacy where when people think of KXT, when I think of KXT currently, I think of Chief. I think of DG. I think of Raiko. Because that's individuals that held not just titles, but a legacy in KXT. And I believe that the name Jaden Aries already does have a legacy, depending. And it's crazy, you know. The Jaden Aries legacy would differ from individuals in different, I would say, classes of SMW. The earlier class, like the Razors and the Owen Stevens, know Jane Aries to be a troublemaker. But the Jane Aries towards the end of 2023, they would see it as someone who was just trying to do good for himself. So now in 2024, with all those new individuals coming from the indies or just coming into the indies, looking up to KXT or looking forward to coming up to KXT, we'll see Jane Aries as a legend in KXT. It's just crazy how everyone's perspective of Jane Aries will change when it comes to when they met him and at what time. So I believe that if he doesn't rush his way out of KXT or rush his way to the top of KXT to call himself the face, you can be a mid-card champion, could be a tag team and be the face of a company. It's just about what you do in the ring, outside the ring, and everywhere else. I feel like yes, Jay Neres should go for the title, and I have him as my number 2 pick to dethrone Heaton. I still believe in Raiko. Still, I'm going by that. I'm still going by that. But I do believe that he is gonna be
Keaton isn't the champion anymore.
Story. Well, fuck me, bro.
You know, and I'm seeing that, you know, there's one particular person who seems to have an issue with you know, Mr. Aries. Not, um he says, I scrolled up and he said that, not happy to hear that Jaden Aries, quote unquote, what KXT is missing. Nah, I think differently. And I kind of want to see, what exactly he means. I see he's calling. This is perfect. Okay. I'm gonna ring him in here. Um, hello, Mr. Archer. My voice cracked.
Sorry. I'm a little bit sick right now. Woke up so feeling like shit. What makes it even worse that I woke up feeling like shit, I hear that Jaden Aries is what KXT is missing. I'm sorry. Did everybody just forget about the day one guys who bust their ass to get these title opportunities and make their names known? Did everybody just forget about that? Because I've been seeing main roster guy after main roster guy coming to A at KXT. And Jaden Aries, I love JD Aries in the main roster. All right. But when you come into my home and say that KXT was missing me, you got another thing coming. Because I consider myself a pillar in KXT. I may have lost those 2 title matches, but it doesn't mean a goddamn thing I can't win a match. I can still pull off these promos. I can still whoop people's ass. Like Raiko, I'm going to beat Raiko on Monday. I have Raiko this Monday, and people talk about Raiko's up next for a title shot. Yeah, maybe. But we'll see how that goes on Monday. Because me and him have been going back and forth, and I have some businesses settled. And after I'm done with Raiko, I might want to take care of Jaden Aries because I want to see what's all the talk about this multi-time champ. I've been watching from KXT and him being in the main roster. But I just want to know how he is in the ring when I step in. I want to test his freaking limits. If he is the so-called guy that is missing in KXT, I want to see it myself.
All right. Just want to make sure you know that you have no more curse words. If you do call
Oh,
back at any point in time, yeah, we have this thing where we allow in everybody else to have at least 3 curse words.
how
Depending
many did
on
I say?
yeah,
Shit.
depending on color, blacks you can say N word and the B word, but
I don't say
otherwise
the
you
N
only have
word
3 B.
ever.
Yeah, but thank
All
you.
right. Later.
So yes, that was Mr. James Archer.
Mr. James Archer, everyone. Yeah, but clearly, you know, he feels like, KXC doesn't need these main roster guys. Um, oh, there's a message from Jaden Aries here, and let me read that here. He says, "A pillar, a pillar. Ha! You're just as horrible a pillar as the rejects were. I'm the multi-time champ for a reason. I worked for it. If you're gonna be an archer, don't miss that bullseye. When you come for the prince, you best not miss. Thanks for your time." Interesting. I think we might have a rivalry on our hands. I don't know.
Um,
I don't know.
hey Jack, I have a question.
Yeah, what's up, Malachi?
Is Aries a prince?
Uh,
Um,
oh,
um,
I don't know because I think a certain someone might have some opinions about that. There was another prince down in KXT that I think would take some offense to that nickname there.
Oh,
I don't know that he actually meant it as like he's a prince. I think it just worked with the rhyme scheme.
oh, oh, okay.
In my personal opinion, I mean, hey, I don't want to talk for a superstar. He could be saying Prince, the other Prince isn't a Prince, that he's the
Yeah.
Prince. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
just saying Rusty, like middleman and the stuff. Who knows? Who knows? I'm sure. Oh, see, yeah, he responded in Chief gets it. It was a play on word. It was a play on
okay.
word.
Okay.
Oh, you know, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and segue this topic because I remember Tex said that he, Romy Savage and what he's doing for the Prime Heavyweight Championship. So go ahead, Mr. Tex.
yes, bro. Romy Savage needs to be in the conversation as one of the best prime champions, or even scratch that, one of the best world champions that SMW has ever seen, man. Because, bro, this man has been going to every show, fighting top tier opponents, probably the most active person in the server besides Nova. Like, he's doing everything he needs to do as champion and then some. He's got some questionable things that he does, but at the end of the day, when it's time to be serious, he hands out beat downs like it's a 4-for-4 from Wendy's. But and just everything that Romy has been able to do with this title since winning it in that triple threat ladder match, like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, you know, there was always conversations of who could, you know, be next after Spades, who was going to be do this after Spades, who was going to be like, it was always who could be after Spades. But now he's now the afterthought, and now it's who's going to be better than Romy Savage. Because in my opinion, Romy's reign has been way better than Spades' reign. That's just my opinion. I don't know, like, Oliver, I do want to get your thoughts on how Romy has been doing. That's it.
You know, I think that and some people might disagree, but I do think I agree that his reign has been better than Spades' reign, and I think it's because of slightly because of more variety in his opponents, and also because I feel like Romy is the guy who's meant to have a big world title like the Prime Heavyweight Championship, because he's not scared of anybody. He'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, any place, any match type. It doesn't matter. He will fight anyone, and I feel like that's what, especially Prime. I feel like that's what Prime needed, and I feel like that's what um, a world championship needs. You know, and I think that I think that Romy has been doing an excellent job as world champion. You know, and I can't wait to see what's next down the line for him, because he has really been proving why he is, the madman, the beatdown king. And my colleague just whispered to me that can we bring up the local Jello shortage in the SMW area, because he cannot find any more Jello. Yes, Romy is a Jello madman as well. He's been taking everyone just Jello. He loves Jello. So if you have Jello, please be cautious around Mr. Romy, because he will snatch it right out of your hands. Even if it's a baby holding it, he will snatch it out of the baby's hands. So I think that Romy's having a great reign right now, and I feel like right now, and this is no slight to any of the world champions, but I feel like right now he's having the best reign out of the three big world champions. I just think that a lot of people overlook him just because of the simple fact that he's on Prime. But I feel like if it wasn't for that, people would all be talking about Mr. Romy Savage. Jamar, what about you? What do you think about Romy Savage as Prime Heavyweight Champion? Mr. Burrows is in the bathroom, so we're gonna.
Mr. He seems to be having, a little bit of bowel issues. But I will
Yeah.
go ahead. It's clear to see that, as much as most of SMW roster, neglects the fact that Romy is having such a historic run as Prime Heavyweight Champion. The GMs of Prime did not seem to let that slide. They protected Romy Savage, picking him, first picks, ensuring that the Prime Heavyweight Championship and Romy stays on Prime, because Romy just brings this element of entertainment, surprise, and of course, good in-ring talent. And so it's clear to see that, oh my God, it's clear to see that, Romy is respected here in SMW, but I feel like he's not respected as much as we hope he would. This man has literally been a Prime Heavyweight Champion for close to 3 months now, I would say, if my memory is not doing me wrong. Close to 3 months. Anybody has correct dates? No? I'm just gonna go 3 months. Okay, we got 3 months.
I think he's getting close to 3. Yeah.
3 months. All right. And I mentioned it earlier. Well, to some of my colleagues, that we undermine Romy. He's not respected as much as we should as champion. And I believe there's much more he can do and he will do, whether it be calling out someone. And that is already a big thing. Romy looks to beat people. Romy looks for his matches. Romy doesn't wait for individuals to come calling him out. He goes looking for them, whether it be with Jello packets, their family, or whatever. Romy does exactly what management wants. And I feel like Prime, I wouldn't even say that was a steal from Prime. Well, for Prime. But that was the right decision made for Prime. Romy just continues to bring savageness to the Prime locker room, sorry.
Oops, sorry, my mic was on mute. But yeah, I feel like I definitely agree with you. That is the type of champion that Prime needs, because a lot of people overlook Prime. A lot of people overlook Prime, He won the title on Halloween. Okay, yeah. So at the end of this month, he'll be at 3 months. 3 months. If he gets to the 31st of this month, he'll be at 3 months because he won the title at on Halloween, which is pretty fitting. I think that's pretty fitting. I remember that too. Yeah, you're right. I remember that. Oh man. And so said Debo taking your Jello. That's funny. I think that Romy is definitely what Prime needs, and I think they would be it would put them in a really hard situation if he were to not even lose that title, but if say somebody from another show or something beat him and he goes to Platinum or Supreme, that would be a big uh you know that would be a big thing for Prime because I feel like Romy somewhat is Prime right now. And so go ahead, Voy. Give your one more thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, one more statement, more or less. Everyone seems to forget that everyone is going for glory. Everyone is going for the big bucks. Everybody's going for being the top guy. In my eyes, realistically speaking, Romy, if not Jackie Jonathan because of his historic reign or his lengthy reign, Romy is number one in the books in SMW because this man is literally the only grand. I just have to make sure. Unless,
Grand champion.
yeah, but I'm thinking of Nico as well. I just have to make sure my memory. Nico, correct me if I'm wrong. It's you and Romy or just Romy? He'll correct me whilst we going through. Both. All right, appreciate it.
Both.
But yes, these two individuals, yes, are Grand Slam champions already, cementing the legacy. First ballot Hall of Famers, everything. So I'm just telling you, at this point, Romy's doing this for fun, and he's still putting in the work.
he's taking Jello for fun. No, I'm just kidding. Um, yeah, I mean, Romy, he's done it all. He's seen it all. He's been it all. And I feel like at this point in his career, he's beating up people. As he always has done. You know, um, he's just having fun right now, which is what we love to see. That's part of what wrestling's all about. Is just having fun. Most sports are about having fun. Most sports don't let you beat up your coworkers, but even still, it's about having fun. The next match we're gonna talk about. Oh my gosh, the match card's so far up. The next match we're gonna talk about. I mean, we might as well address. Where did it go? Did I swipe past it? Yeah, it was really far up. The next match we're going to talk about is going to be oh my gosh. No, I lost it again. Okay, thank you.
Hey, I was about to say, just go down to the bottom. I just
Yeah,
reposted.
thank you. The next match I wanted to talk about was Crucifer versus Tenacious B. And I know some people might be confused. They're like, wait, but wait. It says Tenacious is currently the Heart of Platinum champion. He is. This is true. But he won the title in a triple threat on Dark. Did not. He came up short at Doomsday. You know, and I know he wouldn't say this. But as a reporter from the outside looking in, I feel like joining into that tag team Grand Prix hurt him momentum wise more than it helped him. Going into that Heart of Platinum title match, I feel like it really it threw him off. It threw him off right before one of the biggest matches of his career, it kind of threw him off mentally because, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall correctly, I don't think the team of him and Chris Diamond Carter, Money, Power, Respect, I don't think they got a single win in that tag team Grand Prix.
They did not.
Thank you. And so I feel like trying to bounce back from that sort of performance and going into Doomsday and being like, all right, I have to now focus up for this singles title. I feel like that was an impossible task, and I feel like it would have been an impossible task for anyone, And so it stinks that he came up short at Doomsday, but I think that I think that he definitely made up for it by finally capturing that title. Anyways, there was a funny comment. He said, "I totally agree, but I was trying to set up the story. We suck as a tag team." I didn't want to be the one to say it. But it was not a good showcase of either of you guys' talent. Because I feel like the SMW multiverse at this point knows how talented Tenacious is. And so I think everyone was a bit shocked when they didn't even get one win throughout that tournament. But tag team matches are a team effort at the end of the day. Tex, what were your thoughts? Okay, I'll ask these two questions. What were your thoughts on the initial loss at Doomsday for 10, and then what were your thoughts when he won it on Dark? What were your thoughts, and what do you think he'll do for that Heart of Platinum Championship now that he has it?
When 10 lost at Doomsday, I said that it's because he wasn't ready to be a champion. And he said I was right. And I was like, everybody bounces back. Everybody. If they really want to. And I can truly say that when he won on the Dark match, I can say I was surprised. Because I honestly thought he still wasn't ready. I really feel like that I don't want to say he got lucky. I feel like that I want to say that he was in the right place at the right time. Like I say, these champions, they just seem to struggle in multi-man matches. I feel like that in that match, the main target was Crucifer. And they were beating the shit out of Crucifer, and that's why he got eliminated first. And Tenacious, not really getting that much, not really getting beat up that much in the match, basically letting Owen Stevens do all the heavy lifting and then doing his due diligence here and there. It was pretty therapeutic for him to get that win. It was very well sought out of how he planned to get that win. It was perfect, He followed his script to a T and he got the championship. And now I feel like that with him now being the champion, Tenacious is going to be exactly what everybody wanted from him when he was on his hot streak. Now that we can see he can win a title. We can see that he can win a title. Now it's about, can he be prestigious? Can he be the champion that we need? And I feel like that he can. Not a lot of people can do it on their first reign. It's usually their second reign. But I feel like 10 is exactly where he needs to be. and he has. I feel like he has it down packed. I feel like he's going to go down as probably the greatest Heart of Platinum champion we have ever seen. Just because he wants this title and only this title. I feel like the other Heart of Platinum champions were looking for the next championship that they were going to get. With 10, he only cares about the Heart of Platinum title, and I feel like that is what separates him from everyone else. But yeah, I feel like he's going to be a great champion, Mr. Oliver.
You know, now I also want to see if Mr. We're going to try and see if Mr. Jamar Burrows is back from the bathroom. To give his thoughts on Tenacious finally achieving that goal that he set out. Achieving winning that Heart of Platinum championship. A title that I feel like he should have had from the get go. But that's neither here nor there. You know, I I want to know, what do you think of, especially considering, there were other titles Mr. Tenacious could have gone after, but he specifically chose the Heart of Platinum championship. I think that's very commendable, and so I want to know, what, and this can be either for Jamar or um, you, Voy. What do you think that Tenacious can do to really get people to put their eyes on that Heart of Platinum championship?
Honestly, I feel like I can answer that question for you. Um, I feel like if the roster was already struggling to, pick a fight with the likes of Jackie Jonathan, who wanted to defend that title, who wanted to put that title out, individuals who didn't want to go up against the likes of Romy Savage, when Romy wanted to put that title out. Why would they want to go up against the likes of Tenacious? Because he's a champion? No. Because clearly not a lot of people want the titles. Everybody want to give talks, but nobody really wants to show up and show out. I feel like it's going to be difficult for him to, make that title prestigious. I mean, yeah, title defenses can help his case. Putting the title up for grabs can help his case. But it's a matter of, will people take it? It's not all the time the champion makes the title prestigious. Sometimes it takes the roster or the competitors to make the title prestigious. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
You know, oops, sorry. I I think that you're right. To a degree, I think that you know this is this is a title that is already looked at with kind of like a side eye, you know, and people. I feel like they wouldn't want to admit it, but I feel like people are scared of Tenacious. I think they see him, they see all the tape and the bandages and the bruises and things like that, and then they see his finishing moves and his move set and things like that, how he fights, and they're like, I'm not fighting that guy. You can kiss my rear end. I'm not fighting that guy. Absolutely not. No, at no chance in hell am I fighting a guy that looks like that and fights like that. You know, and so I feel like there's gonna be a lot of calling out done by Mr. Tenacious, but I feel like eventually people will warm up and start to want to take that title from him. Mr. Rusty, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. We've seen it literally come from, and I'm not saying rock bottom as in he was just, bottom of the barrel or anything, but we saw somebody who had potential, uh, who wasn't really focusing his time necessarily in ring work or really the competitive side. He heard criticism, he took it, he improved himself, he fought for chance after chance, he came back time after time. And it just shows dedication, perseverance, understanding that not everybody has the right equipment. Sometimes you've got to step back, view what's around you, view and hear others' opinions, take accountability. And that's what he did. It shows that if you're willing to develop yourself, move forward better, and persevere, really anything in SMW is possible. I agree with what y'all are saying as far as the prestigious of the belt. Uh, I think the way it was won for him already kind of gave him like a little tick towards that prestigious, it being the first ever title that was won at a house show at a dark series. And from here, like you said, he's making his call outs right now. See it be very long before people, oh man, this is the title that, especially for people who are on platinum. I mean, if you're on platinum and you don't want to be the heart of platinum, what are you doing? Like it's kind of like that's a big title. I don't know what. Well, I do know. I know that some of the previous title runs from platinum haven't been that great, but it deserves and should be treated as a main title. You're literally being recognized as the heart, the back, the person that represents platinum. And I think 10's a good representation of that. He's got a strong move set, great in ring work. He's working on himself constantly. He's here day in and day out, and he helps out the community by giving advice in places that he has that expertise in. So I think all in all, we have a great run and a great start for a Heart of Platinum champion. And I think it's only going to go up from here. 10 with what you're doing and what I think can come from the Heart of Platinum. Get ready, bud, because as soon as it takes off, um, people are going to be after it. Rusty only has one thing to say. I think it is the most disrespectful thing to sit on another man's face in the middle of a ring for a pin. He does what he needs. And as disrespectful as some of his moves can seem, they work and they're effective. I mean, we saw 10 go on what, like a 10, 11 win streak before
Mhm.
Doomsday, before Doomsday and everything. And yes, he might have fallen short at Doomsday, but obviously picking that back up in the dark show. But yeah, that's Rusty's thoughts, man. I know 10's going to be great. I know he's going to do great things with the Heart of Platinum Championship. And I know that the story and legacy that he's about to unfold is just going to lead into an even better title reign in the future.
I definitely agree. He and I also don't want to say came from rock bottom, but he started off pretty rough here in SMW, but he drastically turned it around, and now I feel like he's definitely a fan favorite in SMW now. And I don't think it can be stated enough, um, how it's very admirable, seeing somebody who wasn't really used to how SMW worked, eventually figure it out and become a what I would consider a top star in SMW. It's very admirable. And I seriously I can't wait for this year for Tenacious, because I think this is gonna be his year. I'm gonna say it right now. I think this is gonna be his year. Um, and speaking of years, we might as well talk about it. The elephant in the room. We all know what we're about to talk about, fellas, and it's yes, you do. You do. You know, Vui Vui. You know, you know what we're about to talk about. You know what we're about to talk about. And what we're about to talk about is the 5-month reign of Jackie Jonathan was ended at Doomsday by Mr. CCN in the main event. And you know, I wanna let Tex start this one off. I wanna let you start this one off, buddy.
Okay. Damn, bro. It's one of those things where you see it, you don't believe it, and you go to sleep, you wake up, and you see that it happened, and you're like, damn, it's really over. I think we were all getting to the point where when you heard SMW champion, you thought Jackie Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? It's really, I can say, upsetting, to see Jackie Jonathan lose at the biggest stage of them all. We all thought, and still. We all thought, and still. It was it's kind of upsetting. It's very upsetting, honestly. It was a great showing by Jackie too, man. Another Jackie match, man. Going in, doing what he does best. Just CCN capitalizing off of one mistake off of Jackie Jonathan. Just one mistake, But you know what they say? Even a trash can get a steak once in a while. I personally feel like that Jackie Jonathan is going to take that title from CCN, and we're all gonna wake up from this terrible nightmare that is CCN as world champion. But yeah, that's just what I think.
Did you say terrible nightmare that is CCN is world champion?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that? I'm curious. Why do you
Because
say that?
CCN isn't ready. He's doing the bare minimum as world champion right now. Like, as world champion, I feel like you should not have to wait for people to call you out. You should not have to, think that, yes, you're on a level above everybody right now, but that doesn't mean you feel like that people have to call you out and you can just do whatever you want. No. You have, as world champion, have a lot of work to do and a lot of work to catch up on. Like, you need to be promos, active, all of that. You don't necessarily need to win matches all the time because you can't win all your matches. You just can't. It's impossible. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. But with CCN, man, he'd be a great champion in GEW, but not SMW.
Oh wow! What is that supposed to mean?
It means that the champions in GW ain't really up to par. They don't really. They do the bare minimum, and it's considered being prestigious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh man.
I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, Mr. Oliver.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't make that joke. But
I was being dead serious. I don't
okay,
know.
hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna let you go, Romy, but first I wanna see what Deshaun says to this, or what Tex says to this. It says, this comment says, so realistically, Mr. Tex, what is CCN missing?
He doesn't have passion. He's not passionate about being SMW champion. I feel like that's the main thing he's missing. He just seems like he just wanted to beat Jackie. I feel like it could have been for whatever title. He just wanted to beat Jackie. That was the only constellation prize that he wanted. He didn't really want the SMW championship. He just wanted to beat Jackie. He wanted to prove his whole thing was that he wanted to be the best Vibez guy. That was his whole thing.
Interesting. All right, Mr. Romy, go ahead and give your thoughts. You said you had a different opinion. I want to hear.
I definitely have a different opinion, coming in, having a personal relationship with Jackie. If you haven't known, there was a while before FTV was even together. I was the guy that was looking for Jackie, you know, but Jackie's like that obstacle. See, when Jackie lost, a lot of people, just like me, we forget that Jackie's human, you know. He's just that guy, he's always been, Superman to us. And even when you're comparing him to CCN, it's really not fair for CCN right now, you know. And just because he's not Jackie, Jackie made me become a better champion, watching his lead and seeing what he does and how he carries himself. Like, I'll never be the champion Jackie has, but because of him, I am better than I would have been. Watching him and following his footsteps. And that's what you got to do and look for CCN. You're trying to make him, take over a GOAT status. He got some big shoes to fill. That is a big ass shadow that's cast, behind Jackie. And you can't expect him to be able to fill that instantly. And that's what I think that a lot of people gotta be patient with CCN to give him an opportunity to see, because Jackie is a one of a kind generational talent. There will never be another Jackie Jonathan, and he's still there. It's not like Jackie's going anywhere. Jackie has a rematch clause, and he can get his title back and I mean any time he wanted to. I think Jackie's testing the waters. It's lonely at the top. And I'm starting to know that. I'm also sometimes getting there to a point where people don't want to fight me. They're intimidated. They're scared. They're scared of my antics and what I might do to them. And the same thing with Jackie. You get in the ring with Jackie, you gonna get your ass whipped. Like, you can't out wrestle him. You can't outthink him. You can't out work him. You know what I mean? You can't out strategize him, or I mean, it's hard when you're going against those kind of odds. And I just think that CCN needs more time. Let him develop and let us get a moment to see what kind of champion he's actually going to be. Because you're comparing him to a person that he's not even, to me, he's a person. He's Superman. You can't compare CCN to Superman. You know what I mean? He's only had the title a couple weeks, man. Give him some time to develop and, kind of get in his groove before you start shutting him down already. That's just my opinion, though.
Because while we could easily play the comparison game and be like, oh well, he hasn't, he's not doing this, he's not doing that. It has only been about a week, I think, give or take, about a week. And so I think we got to get at least a month. At least a month. Once we get to a month, then I feel like we can start making a few comparisons and things like that. But it has only been a week. This is true. And I see you, boy. I see you raising your hand. Go ahead, man.
Yes. I honestly agree with Romy Savage. Um, we did mention that whilst Jackie Jonathan was champion, that whoever comes next has some big ass shoes to fill. And clearly it's showing. People are already questioning whether or not CCN should be champion. We miss Jackie Jonathan as champion. But at the same time, we have to learn to adjust. Okay, CCN went out there to do his best. He went out there to, prove a point. I mean, yes, at the same time, it may look like he just wanted to be Jackie Jonathan. That could have been the case, which he did. And another case could have been that he earned his opportunity. Let's not forget, sorry, that this man won a Royal Rumble to get the opportunity to main event Doomsday. Okay? He wasn't gifted the opportunity of main event in Doomsday to go up against Jack. He earned it. And I mean, at this very time, we need to cut him some slack. We need to give the champion enough time to adjust. Give him time to get in the groove of things. Not all champions start off with the best reigns, the top reign in the company. Yes, this is the top prize in SMW. But at the same time, he's only human. He only has a limited amount of time to prove that he may be the best or second best. Being the best, well, the best SMW champion takes a lot. Jackie has set the standard. The bar is not only high, but cloud nine high. And I know Chief must be listening and clapping it up right now. But I'm just saying that he needs some time to adjust and he needs some time to, catch the flow of things. It's uncomfortable for him now. It's uncomfortable for us not calling Jackie Jonathan SMW champion. But it's something that we might just have to come to terms with. Once Jackie cashes in his rematch clause. Because if he does cash in his rematch clause and loses, I'm sure he's going to go back for it. But he has to take a step to get back to the top. Where CCN will be sitting at the top, doing exactly what he wanted to do. And that was be the top guy. I say we give him time. You guys say we should just give it back to Jackie. But I feel like giving him a chance allows us to see who CCN is as a champion, not just the champion, but a champion. Thank you.
And I do want to say one thing. This is. I mean, you got to think about this. Jackie has only been in SMW 6 months, and out of those 6 months, 5 of them he was champion. He held a championship. So this is the first time in 5 months that we have seen him, without a title. At least let's say without a title in SMW. let's say that. Because he does hold that FPW grappling championship. But this is the first time in 5 months we have seen him without a title in SMW, and it's going to be interesting because a lot of people on the SMW roster haven't seen Jackie without a title. They've never seen what he can do without a title. And so it's going to be very different waters, for Jackie, especially being over on Supreme now. It's going to be very different waters for him to tread, now that he is without the one thing that mattered most to him. And so I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Jackie does, when he goes back for his SMW championship, or I'm sorry, CCN's SMW championship, and go ahead, Mr. Rusty.
Yeah, I just I had wanted to state. I know we were talking about titles and things, and as far as CCN and living up, uh, SMW is obviously the main title of the area, but we've seen it in multiple divisions. A world title or a specific title does not always mean the title that's the most prestigious or anything like that. You know, the SMW title was as prestigious as it was because of Jackie. So CCN has to do something to get to that level. But it could be that way with any belt. I mean, the Heart of Platinum is obviously, the world title for one of the world titles for Platinum, correct? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But if there was another championship, if there was a mid-card championship that was available, and somebody just did something with it that was so amazing, even though it's not the world, title, it would be the main prize. So that's what CCN needs to do. Don't worry about being Jackie. Worry about making CCN's world title the new standard. There's a lot of comparison, a lot of boots to fill, and obviously you need to pay attention to what's happened and learn from it. But I think his next move shouldn't be what can I do to have a run like Jackie. It should be what can I do to have a run like CCN that rivals Jackie or is better, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I definitely agree. He should be focused on not comparisons, but making this his own reign. He should want to do things differently. He should want to set his own standard. And I think we'll see that. I think we'll see that. In the coming months, hopefully. Hopefully, coming months. You know, um, I think that he can do just as good, if not better. I think we just need to give him some time. You know, um, but yeah, it is a very strange atmosphere in SMW right now because it's just a lot of people aren't used to a guy who was champion for 5 months no longer being champion. You know, and I think like Voy said, we gotta get with the times. We have to eventually move on. But it's hard to move on when Jackie Jonathan is in your rearview mirror, and he's looking a bit different. He's even more motivated now because I feel like he felt a bit embarrassed, that he lost at Doomsday. The fact that he was wrestling, I think, the perfect match out there at Doomsday, and one mistake, just one slight error, cost him, what meant everything to him. And I feel like that eats him up very, very dearly. I feel like that eats away at him, currently, and I feel like we're gonna see a more dangerous Jackie because of that. Because of the fact that he felt embarrassed, that he felt made fun of, that he felt like all the hard work he put in was for nothing because he lost at the biggest stage of all the stages. And so, did I quote Shawn Michaels? I might have did that by accident. But yeah, I think that we definitely do need to give CCN time. I feel like that is very. I feel like we're all clear on that now. We do need to give CCN time, and we also need to let him be his own champion and see how this all plays out. Before we can say, oh well, this reign wasn't that great. Um, Jamar, I did see that you were perhaps back from the bathroom. So if you'd like to give your thoughts as well, go ahead.
Yes, I think Romy hit it straight on the head. He took the words right out of my mouth. I feel like we just need to see CCN grow into his own champion, because we're not looking for, the next Jackie Jonathan. We're looking for, the first of his kind, the first CCN, the only CCN, because there's only one Jackie Jonathan. There's only going to be one Jackie that has that big title reign that has surpassed legendary status. But now it's time for CCN to be the first and only CCN to have his legendary title reign. Because if we keep going back to past champions and saying this expectation of like, oh, you have to be the next Jackie Jonathan, you have to live up to his, name, that's not going to help the wrestler that is holding that title, because it's not like we're looking at it as CCN's world title. We're looking at it as the title reign after Jackie Jonathan. And I don't think that that's the mentality that we should be looking at any title reign as, like whoever takes the title off of Romy Savage, like that's going to be huge one day. And that's a huge accomplishment to beat Romy Savage for that Prime Heavyweight Championship one day. And obviously we're going to hope that whoever gets that championship can live up to what Romy has made the Prime Heavyweight Championship. But we also hope that they grow into their own champion. Romy has grown into his own champion. He's different. He's fresh. He's new. And he approaches things differently, which is why I think CCN is the same way, because CCN approaches things differently than Jackie Johnson. They're not the same person. They go about their careers different ways. They have different mentalities, and they're going to hold that championship differently. Now, do we all hope that CCN holds it in a way that is respectable and honorable and great for the company? Absolutely. Is it going to be the same as Jackie? Not even close. Not even close, because they're two different people, just like everyone is a different person. So this title reign is going to be different. And at the end of it, we can compare notes all we want. But while it's happening, I feel like we should let it grow into its own thing, because it's not Jackie Jonathan's reign anymore. It's CCN's reign. And I personally cannot wait to see what blossoms from it, because it can be something that is totally unique, and totally what SMW needs as a refresher from the great title reign that Jackie Jonathan had. It's going to be different. It's going to be something that we haven't seen, and hopefully it's going to be something good for the company. But that's my take on it, at least.
I did see he just walked in and he wanted to give his thoughts. Mr. Rory Lyons. Hello, Mr. Rory.
Hello.
Just before you start, I did want to give you a quick debrief that you get three cuss words. And one can be bitch, one can be the N word, one can be another one of your choice, but you only get three. We're on a professional time clock today as we are live. So yeah, just letting you know.
All right. So, I like what everyone is saying about, he has to make this title run his own. But we can't sit and ignore the fact that Jackie held the title for 5 months. As much as you want him to make not 5 months, damn. A long time. We're just gonna say a long time. But as much as everyone wants him to make the title reign his own, you can't just ignore the fact of what happened, before he grabbed it. I mean, it was a major title run. And so therefore, he is gonna have shoes to fill, and he is gonna have comparisons made. and there's nothing he can do about that except for be great. Everyone, stating that they're two different people. They very much so are, but he knew what he was getting into grabbing this championship. And nobody's saying the reign has to be exactly like Jackie's, but you do have expectations. You do have things that you have to do, or you are going to get called out on it. I think, he doesn't need to get in the realm to where he feels comfortable, or he feels like he can just mosey by with the championship, regardless of what everyone else wants the reign to be, or regardless of everyone saying that they're two different people. That would be like me at my job. Our CEO steps down and I become the CEO. Although we are two different people, I have things that I have to I'm trying to think of the word. I have certain things that I have to do that the CEO before me was doing in order to keep the ball rolling how it's supposed to be rolling.
Like
You know what
you
I'm
have a duty to fulfill.
Yeah, I have duties. So regardless of us being two different CEOs, there are still things that have to be done similar to the guy before me in order for the company to keep going how it was going when he was CEO. So it's it's a touchy subject, and it's you know it's an odd place for CCN to be in, but at the same time, he's got to put in the legwork. He's got to make it known that he's world champ. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I don't feel like CCN is world champ, and yes, he does have to make that legacy for himself. But I mean, that starts with the legwork. That starts with the promos. That starts with getting matches on as many cards as you can. I know the world champs only have to go to 2 different shows. They don't have to be at every show. But with you being a new world champion, I would want to go to every show. I'd want to be on every match card at the beginning, just to let people know this is the new champ and I'm here. But those are just my thoughts on it. I'm gonna pass it back to y'all.
There's something I wanted to add to after everybody was done, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to say, I saw a comment. I saw what you tagged me in. I'm not trying to disagree or try to be different. I understand that it's his first major world title reign, but I feel like Rory hit it on the money where he was like, he knew what he was getting into when he chose this championship. I'm not trying to bash CCN. I want CCN to be a great champion, I'm not saying he has to be like Jackie Jonathan. Like I said, Rory hit it on the money with saying, like, he has duties to fulfill, though. And that's just my whole thing. I feel like he's doing what he needs to be doing right now, but I just want to see more. And that was really what I was trying to get into. Like, if he was going to keep what he was doing right now, that's why I was saying, he'd be good in GEW, because that's where they do the bare minimum. I'm not trying to always disagree. I just have different thoughts than everybody. That's why this is Reporter Rumbles. Not everybody's supposed to have the same opinion all the time. If I always have a disagreement, that's just how it is. I just see things differently than everybody else.
No, I mean, I agree with you. And it's, what I'm saying? I know it looks like let me watch my words. I know it looks like the not so great response, or not the uplifting response, but you know what I'm saying? It's the hard truth. I felt like, let me just step away from CCN for a minute. Sebastian felt like he had shoes to fill, winning the Honors Championship, because the guy before him really didn't do it any justice. I felt like I had to, step up and do something different because the champion before me wasn't doing great. I just feel like if you're taking a championship from somebody who, like in CCN's in CCN's position, you know what I'm saying? You took a championship from someone who did great things with it. So that's not to say you have to do the same thing as that person, but you do have to do great things with it because it was held in high regards. And it's CCN's job after getting that championship to make sure that that championship is still held in high regards. And it's I mean, it's going to be a lot, and it's not for the weak. It's a reason this is a world championship. I feel like, you know, if he wasn't ready for the criticism, for the backlash, you know, maybe he should have went for a mid-card title. We can talk about another company, WWE. If Roman Reigns loses his championship, the next champion has to do great things or he's going to get backlash. And that's just, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got to toughen your skin up if you want to be a world champion because the backlash is coming, whether you want it or not.
I wanted to add something real quick, Roy, Sebastian. The reason why I think a lot of people made that comment is because you got to remember too, just like you were talking about being an executive, when you take over the job, you don't just go ham the first day. You don't know everything. You don't know the employees. You don't know the details of the job. So you have to work that role before you get it. And that's what we're saying about CCN is that he's not really getting the opportunity yet to get that role. You put a lot of pressure on him. It's just like if I gave my title to Darius right now, you know what I mean? He would get lost in the sauce because he's not prepared for that. And you become a great champion or a great leader or a great boss in time because you learn that job, you learn that skill. And that's the thing we were talking about, giving CCN the opportunity to learn that. He's not going to be Jackie Johnson or any champion who held a reign like that, you know, on his first few weeks. You got to give him time to develop that skill and that time to grow, you know, to the champion that he wants to be. And that's what we were trying to say. You know, it's not that your opinion, it's just sometimes as reporters, sometimes we attack so hard that we don't really see like, hey, he's the new champion. He's been champion for, you know, a cup of coffee. Like, you know what I mean? The pressure and all that's going to be there, but it takes time. You even referenced WWE. Roman Reigns was a shitty ass champion for a long time. Nobody even liked Roman Reigns. They made you like him. They used his cousin. They used everything until it finally worked and put him in your face until everybody loves him. So it took him time, just like it will take CCN time to be that champion.
Very well spoken. Very well
And
spoken.
I completely agree with you, Romy. It is going to take time. I think, you know, I'm not griping at him. I do want to make that clear. And I know he is the new champion. I'm just, you know, giving sort of some thoughts on it. And I think, I feel like he has to show that he's trying to get there. Like, you know, in my opinion, I know he's not going to be, you know, step right in and be Jackie Jonathan. But I feel like if he shows strides that, hey, you know, I am here. I am trying to put on great matches. I am trying to be a good champion. I feel like that'll change some of the backlash. As for me, you know, I'm willing to wait and see where it goes. I'm not gonna bash him. Like I said, this is not me, you know, bashing him or anything. It's observations. And like y'all said, you know, it will take time. So you know, we're gonna give him that space. We're gonna give him that time, and we're gonna see where it goes.
You know, and I mean, I don't have any more to say on that. I feel like we all hit it on the head pretty well. You know, CCN does have, you know, big shoes to fill and things like that, but we have to give him time to, you know, fill those big shoes. You know,
Yeah, he's a peacock. We gotta let him fly.
Yes, yeah. Um, I think that I skipped a few matches on the Doomsday card, but in the interest of time, at least we're gonna move on, because we're still in the first topic here, so in the interest of time, we're gonna move on, to the next topic, which I guess this segues into it. The draft. Um, the draft did happen, and it was extremely interesting because look at where Jackie Jonathan is now. He's on Supreme. First round pick, Mr. Brody Allen. You know, second pick, Mr. Eric Myers. These guys who are going to be big stars. And I think that the GM fully trusts them and trusts in their ability to be big stars, by picking them, first and second over, I suppose you could say more established talent, like a Jackie Jonathan, a Deshaun Walker, things like that. I think that shows that they are putting their trust in these newer superstars. Um, yeah, we were still on the Doomsday card. Um, and so I just want to get a few general thoughts about the draft, because I think it was absolutely astounding. Tex, what did you think of the draft, or whoever that was that started speaking? I'm sorry, you can go as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna give my thoughts on the draft, of course.
Yeah, go ahead, Voy. My bad.
Watching it from start to finish. I firstly want to say that those picked, well, hand-picked, not wheel-picked, hand-picked by the GMs have a huge job, right? Especially those picked within the first 2 rounds, or you can say even the first round by itself. Clearly, the GMs see potential there. Clearly, they see you as a face for the brand, an individual to represent their specific brand. All right, and thank you so much, Brody. I appreciate you. But I wasn't Brody. I was saying myself. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Burrow. Thank you. Yes, with Brody Allen and Eric Myers going first for platinum, first overall. These two individuals were shocked. They themselves were shocked to pick so early in the draft. But it just goes to show that it doesn't matter who you are in SMW, doesn't matter how much things you have accomplished, management knows best. And the first step for Nova Vibes was getting Brody Allen, who is, in my opinion, now a well established champion, and getting the next big thing in Eric Myers. All right? With Supreme, Sneeko Vibes went heavy on the champs. He wanted the main title on his brand, because in his eyes, he's not only thinking of what the start of the year would look like, he's thinking of when push comes to shove, I'd put up or shut up. Who is gonna put up to make platinum shut up? If I'm making sense to you guys. And with Prime being the C show, picking up Jackson Drake, retaining their champion, and Romy Savage as well. it goes to show that Prime already trusts who they have as champions. All right. And if I have to go through each and every pick for the 3 rounds, it's going to take a little while. But I'm just saying, Platinum is trying something new. Supreme is looking to dominate. But Prime is looking to compete and be seen as the A show when it comes to put up or shut up. I don't think I could have said it any better than how I was thinking of it. But that is where the roster stand in my eyes. Platinum has disregarded the SMW champion to allow for a newer champion to come about, a new championship to come about onto the A show. Supreme is looking to become the A show later this year. This is why they went heavy on talent, especially in the first 3 rounds of them handpicking. But with Prime, there are no slouches. They pick some heavy hitters as well, looking to actually move up in the rankings. And I believe, not saying that because I'm Razor, don't get this twisted, I believe that they do have a fighting chance when it comes to put up or shut up. With the core they have on their team of individuals who are very diverse, I might say. Like, they're not the normals. The Romy Savages, the Jason Blazes, and the Chris Redacted, and these guys, the Alphas, they're not normal. But that is what makes Prime special. Supreme, they're doing exactly what we expected them to do. Won the A show spot. And Nico did a good job. With picking heavy hitters. CCN, trading for Jackie Jonathan. You have Sebastian Sane, the 10-star monster. Even looking at the bottom, you can see CDC. I mean, now he's going for a slump, but the OGs know who CDC is. Sorry. Cameron Mercer coming back after a long injury and finally back trying to find himself, being part of that DW1 tournament. He's looking up for Supreme. And if Platinum not going to the all reliable, when I say all reliable, bring back the top stars that were already on Platinum. Nova chose to go the new route, bring in fresh talent, fresh ears and eyes and mouths to do promos, to look after. And I feel like they're showing it. This week was the most hyped week that SMW will see for 2024, mainly because of the draft. Take it how it is, but that's how I feel about the draft for this year. Thank you.
Oh, that was very, very well spoken. I did see Mr. Jamar Burrows wanted to also give his thoughts. So I'm gonna hand it over to him.
Yes, this draft was great on all levels. It feels like all shows really have its self identity now. Let's start with Prime. Prime, it seems like Barry did a great job with drafting for Prime because it seems like he's giving more of an opportunity to the underutilized talents, which have been here for a minute, but have not gotten the shine that maybe they either deserve or maybe they either didn't have a chance to initially get. with such a stacked roster at the time and all the stars that were on their show. I mean, if you look at Prime right now, there are a lot of names that you usually don't, that doesn't really pop out to you, like Jason Blaze, Matthew Maverick, Chris Redacted, Alpha, like even All Heart Ace, even though he was the Honors champion, isn't really utilized so much before he was the Honors champion, because he was originally a part of a tag team. But now, with this huge opportunity for names like Leo Marshall, Prince Cody, even Kid Ray, even though he's established as well, this is an opportunity for him to reach out for maybe some world title gold and not have as much as interference from bigger names in a sense, even though his name is big already, but having more room to grow and more room to be even a bigger presence on his brand, because Platinum was crowded. It was crowded with a lot of talent. It was crowded with a lot of individuals at the time. And he didn't get a chance to really swim in his own lane. But now with Prime, this opens up a huge opportunity for all of these underutilized and in some way underappreciated talent. And I feel like that was the goal that Barry was trying to push, because he wants to make new stars out of these veteran names and give something new to Tuesday nights, which I love personally. The one thing, and I will push this until the day that it actually happens. I keep saying this, and I might be the only fan of this feud, but I think it was great building up to Doomsday. CDC was right there. Chris Diamond Carter was right there. You have the story. You have everything, the chemistry. CDC wanted it so badly to face Romy Savage for that Prime Championship. And Supreme sweep them away. Yes, it was by the wheel, but you also had a chance to pick him 7 times. 7 times. And sure, it was great picks that you got for the first 7 picks. But man, if you really wanted to develop your first rivalry, maybe one of the biggest ones on your brand for the year so far, CDC was one of the names you needed to get. It would have been a must have for me if I was the GM. But either way, I feel like Barry did great. Barry did a great job drafting. That's a personal preference for me, of course, but I think he did great, and I can't wait to see what he does with this Prime roster and how he shakes it up. If we go to Supreme now, man, I could see what Nico was going for, most definitely. Veteran star names. Like, these names pop out to you as top 5, top 10 wrestlers in the whole company. You have the SMW champion, like the honors champion, like one half of the global tag team champions. CCN, Sebastian Saint. You have Crucifer coming over for Tenacious B because he lost the Platinum Championship, but still a great ad. A great ad. You have the All-Star champion and Isaiah Martin. These are names that have been established over the past year that are heavy hitters. Heavy hitters. Those are rating grabbers. Those are people that you want on your side for put up or shut up. And he was coming to play, ladies and gentlemen. Nico did a fantastic job drafting this roster, because he knows on any given night, these guys are dishing out 5-star classics. These guys are giving it their all. T-Rod, like Isaiah Mercer, these guys, Big Chief, Damian Saint. These are guys that can not only carry the mid card, but can transfer over to and from the main, the main World Championship title picture as well. They're so well rounded that a lot of people can really blend together and mesh. Like you saw on Thursday, Victor Tolos had a great match against the world heavyweight champion Deshaun Walker and won. Like this is the amount of talent that is levels above the rest of the rosters, to be honest. Will it stay the same? That is to be seen. But right now, from just the first week, looking at it from an outside perspective, Supreme is the roster to watch, most definitely. And then we go to the A show, Platinum. I see the vision that Nova really had for drafting all of these talents. The young, the hungry, the next up. These are the people that are going to have pressure on them to turn them into diamonds. Brody Allen, Eric Myers out the gate. DJ, Deshaun Walker now as a trade package for Jackie Jonathan because Supreme drafted 2 world champions. So Jackie Jonathan and Deshaun Walker were traded, but still a great get for Platinum because Deshaun Walker is a young and hungry world champion. He is going to carry this company for years and years to come. And he has that drive to him to carry Platinum as world champion that Jackie Jonathan did for the longest time with the SMW championship. Raiden Wilson, like Darius Cruz. Darius Cruz, you can say anything about his outside antics. Inside the ring, he is a great talent. He can put on great performances. And with him leading EOP at the moment, he brings an aura to Platinum that really hasn't been seen on the A show. These guys really want to just show why they can be the next up. And I think Platinum is the best show to do that. You have a prime time slot on Fridays that you can really mold these stars, these young stars, into the championship material that Nova sees. And I think that's why not only did Nova go for the young and hungry, but she also went for the seasoned veterans that knows what Platinum needs to get over the hump and stay the A show. Like not Crucifer anymore, Tenacious. Woo! Tenacious B is huge. We've all seen the chase for the Platinum Championship, the Heart of Platinum, and Tenacious's journey to getting there. He's wanted that so bad. He could have went for any world championship at any time because he had the wins. He had an 11 match win streak across the multiverse, if I'm not mistaken. 9 match win streak in SMW. So he could have went for any world championship. He stuck to his path, his journey, and he became Heart of Platinum champion this week. So that's a huge add for Platinum as a brand. Speaking of seasoned veterans, you have the leader of FTB, Silas Foster. You have Zero on your side. Like Floki, for as much slack as we give Floki's a phenomenal talent and can hang in the ring, even win or lose with anyone that Floki really wants to. It just like the veteran presence is here. Shin Kazma, both of the tag team champions are on Platinum together. Deadly combination on its own. I mean, but singles wise, they're going to absolutely tear through the Platinum roster. Especially now that DJ has picked up the Grove Splitter, a variation of the Soul Splitter. But yeah, Raiden Wilson, who just won the DW1 tournament. You have a lot of talented names on this Platinum roster, and it's such a blend that both can work together to grow together. They're not going to step over each other. They're going to blend in with the young and the veterans. And I love that. I love that that's a combination of the two to get the best product that Platinum can possibly get. I think Nova did a great, honestly, all 3 of these GMs did a great job drafting. They knew what they wanted. They knew what they wanted their vibe to be for the show. They knew who they really wanted to develop and what they wanted to develop. And I think that all 3 of these shows are going to be quality throughout the week. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, whatever day you're going to watch, whatever show you're going to support the most, you're going to get a great show. You're going to get great superstars on the show, and you're going to see new and up and coming faces as well, and not the same old rotation of 5, 6, 7 people, which I love. It's going to be a different vibe. It's going to be a different feel each and every single night. And I think that's the goal that SMW really wanted. They wanted a different product coming into 2024. I think this draft really gives them that. So kudos to all 3 GMs, and I can't wait to see where these shows go, most definitely.
All right. Well, I definitely agree. I'm glad that we're seeing, lots of different things thanks to this draft. Um, uh, I think that we're about to be in a new age, a new era of SMW with a whole new crop of talent getting opportunities and getting spotlight and things like that. So I think this whole entire thing was great, very well put together, and I can't wait. I feel like I've been saying that all Reporter Rumble, but I can't wait for the future of SMW. It's very exciting to look forward to. We are going to go ahead and move over to our next topic. They're all kind of segueing into each other, But speaking of draft and draft picks, we should Mr. Eric Myers and Mr. Brody Allen, the number 1 and number 2 picks for Platinum, because Eric Myers is a guy that I think a lot of people, after that showing in the DW1 Invitational, got on a lot of people's radar. And I feel like the same can be said for Brody Allen after his very dominant display at Doomsday. And then this week having a very, very big week, defeating the former SMW champion Jackie Jonathan and defeating the grappling god Sebastian Saint. A very big week for him, and I feel like he can do a lot for that open weight title and a lot just for himself after getting those 2 huge wins earlier this week, and he's already proven, why he was the number 1 draft pick, by getting those 2 huge wins, and I think that Brody Allen, he does have not a long way, but I do think he still has some time to come into himself over on Platinum, and I think the same can be said. Excuse me. Excuse me. For Mr. Eric Myers. Mr. Eric Myers, was on Supreme, but a very stacked Supreme, and now I feel like he's on a brand that he can really showcase himself on. Brody Allen can really showcase himself on. All this talent can showcase themselves because this is their brand now. They don't have to worry about, oh, well, I went over to Platinum, but Jackie Jonathan was my first match and he beat me up really bad and it derailed my momentum. They don't have to worry about things like that. I do want to know, what do you guys think, the future holds for not only Eric Myers but Mr. Brody Allen as well? I see you. I see you. You look eager to talk about this, Tex. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to touch on Brody Allen if I could. Brody Allen has, the way he was able to step up. This is what, me and Rory be talking about, when we start to, talk about certain champions, some of them let it destroy them and they can't take it because they think we're getting on them because we want to like mess with them or anything. And some of them knows it's coming from a place of heart and we just want to see them do good. And Brody took our criticism knowing that it was coming from a place of heart and really upgraded himself as a champion times 10, man. I am so proud of the champion that Brody Allen is right now, man. He is everything that, Platinum needed from, like, its champions that it has. And he's doing things that, that I feel like everybody wanted to see from the open weight champion and from, that championship in general. That championship is finally getting the prestige that it deserves. And it's all because of Brody Allen. I just wanted to really, commend him. He's doing just such a great job, man. Such a great job. And, so humble, he's a little happy, he's got number one pick on his locker, apparently, in his on his platinum locker. But it's well deserved, man. This man has been putting in so much work, so much sweat and dedication to this. It was amazing, bro.
And I do want to say you and Rory were two of his biggest naysayers, saying he was the worst openweight champion of all time. Has that opinion changed now?
It has changed. It has changed. It has changed. I can always admit, I know a lot of people, like to get on text and, text this, text that, but, I can admit when I'm wrong. And, I was wrong about Brody Allen. At first I didn't think he could step up and, change his ways, but he completely did that. Once again, congratulations to Brody Allen.
And, I might as well ask Mr. Rory as well, what do you think the future lies, or what lies in the future for Mr. Brody and Mr. Eric Myers?
I don't think Rory's it.
Rory's not here.
Oh wow, that's embarrassing. He must have stepped out for some Reaper Aid, of course, our sponsor. It's to die for. But Voy, if you'd like to give your thoughts on my question, then go right ahead.
Yes. Honestly, I mean, this is a big opportunity for, of course, Brody Allen and Mr. Eric Myers. I went very hard on Brody Allen when he first came to the main roster from KXT. I told everyone that I don't believe that himself and of course Darius Cruz at the time were ready to be on the main roster, and the hype was going to them, and now seems that the hype has settled just well. This man being the number one overall pick in the draft, it clearly shows that GMs believe in him, and it's a matter of time before we start to believe in him. I still feel like, as a champion, there still is much to go from. This being his first reign on the main roster, a proper reign in SMW in general. And I feel like for now, the open weight title is just in the right place. I don't believe that he should be going for the big one as yet. Being the number one pick might get to his head thinking, I'm the number one pick, I should be the number one guy, I should go for that title from Deshaun Walker. But I believe that for now, he's in a good place and the title is in good hands. Yes, people do criticize, his ways as champion, but everyone has to grow. Everyone is human, everyone deserves time to grow. For Eric Myers, that guy deserves the title. That guy deserves to have a piece of gold hanging from his side or on his waist or something. I'm not saying he should just rush into it head on and just start calling out champions like crazy, or starting to stick his foot where it doesn't deserve to be. But like he said, he is the chosen one. He has beaten the likes of Deshaun Walker already in convincing fashion, I might say, proving why he is the chosen one. But give himself time and everything will fall into place. I feel like that is literally a generational talent. We haven't seen individuals like this in a while, he might just be the one take it all the way. Thank you.
Yeah, might just be the one. Well, what about the one, Eric Myers? I mean, I'm hearing a lot about Brody Allen, but not a lot about,
Oh no,
you
that
know.
last piece was Eric Myers.
Oh, okay. My
Mm,
my apologies. I got it mixed
okay.
up. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's okay.
but yeah. I mean, Mr. Romy, what do you think about all of this? About Brody Allen. Uh, Not exactly saying that he should, that he's world champion material, and that he should go for the big one or anything like that. But what do you think about how he's turned it around uh, throughout his open weight title reign from being called the worst open weight champion to now garnering respect amongst his peers?
I think Romy is also in the bathroom, but I did see Rory just come back, so you can probably get his thoughts.
Oh well, Rory, if you heard that question, if you'd like to go ahead and respond, please.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Okay. What do you think? Bad. I didn't notice you went, but you changed your opinion on Brody Allen being the worst open weight champion? And what do you think he needs to do to continue proving his doubters wrong?
Um, my opinion is changing. I won't say it's changed. Because I want him to stay on his toes. Uh, what can he keep doing? Right now he's accepting matches. He putting out promos. He's being dominant in those matches. Um, what I'd like for him to do is just stay here, like he's been doing. He's been active. He's been showing that he actually cares about being the open weight champion. And he's putting on great ass matches. Oh, I just said it. Okay, that's one. Um, he's putting on great matches. And I think overall, as long as he keeps, the consistency, I think he'll be good. Um, before Doomsday, I'll say before his match at Doomsday, things weren't looking too good for Mr. Allen. And I think him coming out the winner of that match at Doomsday plays a big role in this. And then him, continuing to show that he cares by taking on these big name superstars. He said before he'd put out one or two promos here or there, you know what I'm saying? Just to, please the fans with like one or two promos, every month or so. Uh, Now that he doesn't have a, guaranteed match at Doomsday, he won't be able to, lean on that. So this is going to show, if he meant his words, or if they were just words to get people off of his back. I believe in Brody Allen. I really do. One thing about me as a reporter and overall as a superstar is I want to see, the younger guys do great. I want to see the guys, that are newer, that don't really have a name for themselves. I want to see those guys do great because the vets, they know how to do it already. They know what they're doing. They know how to pick a path. They know how to get a championship. But these newer guys, and I say their names all the time, like Brody Allen, Eric Myers, Owen Stevens, even Prince Cody, despite, the hate he does get, he is one of those younger superstars. Darius Cruz, um, just guys like that who are younger talent who have the potential and the time to turn themselves into household names. Um, I think Brody, I think he can can keep that if he can keep the ball rolling and just keep, doing things how he's doing them now, accepting matches, cutting promos, being active. I think he's going to be fine as a open weight champion, and I honestly think he may have that championship for a long time. He's a hell of a competitor inside of the ring. Nobody can take that away from him. Like I said, the only thing he has to do is just make sure that the outside ring work matches the inside ring work. And while I'm on this subject, and I see he is here just so he can hear it, Darius Cruz is also one of those superstars who has to make sure that the outside ring work, balances out. I mean, the inside ring and outside ring work balance each other out. You can't let the outside ring work override what you do in the ring, and vice versa. If you do lack in the ring, it is good, that you can, pick up the slack where you lacked in the ring and, cut great promos and do all that. I feel like a lot of people, and this is outside of character, a lot of people, don't really like Darius because of the shenanigans he pulls. And outside of a character, I believe there's a place for it. I believe his character style is actually unique in the fact that he's like a little hooligan running around getting into shenanigans, and you never know what he's gonna do next. I think there's a place for him in the roster. Now, in character, everyone knows Sebastian fucking hates his guts, but me being a person and just, seeing what he's doing with his character, I believe his direction is just a guy that gets into shenanigans all the time. And, there's a place for that on every roster. So I just want these young guys to, you don't have to even take them as mentors. You don't have to idolize them, but just see what the guys who've been here a little while are doing, and just kind of make your own thing out of that. You see they're active, you see they're putting on great shows, and y'all just do the same, man. That's all anyone can expect from you, is to try your best and just to be active. So the question was, what can Brody Allen do? That's pretty much my answer. Just, make sure that you're here, make sure that that champions are held to a higher standard, and just kind of deliver to the fans. Your slogan is "The kid always delivers," so make sure that you're staying true to that. And I believe you'll be just fine as champ.
All right. I believe, everyone gave their thoughts, or just about everyone gave their thoughts on Brody Allen and Mr. Myers, and I agree, as long as Brody keeps up the hard work, it's for him this year in SMW. And I think the same can be said for, Eric Myers, um, showcasing, why, he's so great. He's cutting promos, he's good in the ring and stuff like that. He's active and things like that. And so, it's great to see these newer stars start slowly becoming more known in the multiverse. It's very nice to see. It's very nice to see. And speaking of Mr. Brody, we do, um, you know, we do wish him, luck, throughout this open weight title reign, and just on platinum in general. Being the number one pick, that's a tall order to live up to.
And I feel like right now, he's living up to it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's this is me again stepping out of character. It's kind of weird just because I want to see these guys, do so great. I feel like they're my fucking kids, man. I just want to see them do the best that they can in life, man. Like, fuck, bro. It's so, it puts me in such an odd position. But I feel like Brody's living up to it right now. Like I said, I won't, not because he doesn't deserve it, but some people tend to, after they get their flowers, to kind of relax. So I won't give him these flowers right away. I want him to stay on his toes. I want him to stay hungry. So as of right now, my opinion is changing, but it is not changed. And that's my final statement on it. Since Mr. Brody is here, my opinion of you is changing. You are becoming, a better champ. You're living up to your name. But I will not say that it's completely changed. You just got to make me believe, man. Make me believe again. Because, like I said, you were a great open weight champion when you first won that title. And you are getting back to that place now. I want to put that out there. I just, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you're going to stay consistent and stay hungry. So I'm going to wait to give you these flowers, man. I'm going to wait a little minute. Ollie Oxenfree?
Oliver.
I think he went to the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay.
The character he's offended. I'm not too sure.
I'm sorry. Technical difficulties from me right there. Sorry.
No, you good.
But I feel like all that was said that needed to be said about that topic. So we'll move on to the next one, which is tag team wrestling. I mean, the tag team division is seeing another resurgence, but this time I feel like even better than the last. The tournament was a big deal. For a lot of those tag teams, and I feel like it's been made even bigger because of the fact that the Red Line, becoming two-time global tag team champions, defeating Olympus just 5 days after they initially won those tag team titles at Doomsday, and it's I think it's great for the tag division that they won those titles back, because all that's going to breed is more competition. More people are going to be hungrier for those titles. Oh, and let me not forget, I almost forgot, Leo Marshall at Doomsday. He won a battle royale to cash in for a mid-card title opportunity, which he elected to cash in with his partner, Floki, for those global tag team championships that the Red Line defended just a day after winning them back. And the Red Line did retain in a very impressive performance. And so, I feel like the tag team division right now is very much thriving because what we're about to see is a lot more competition from everyone involved in that division. I think that the Red Line, they care a lot about the tag division. That's clear through the fact that they organized the tag team title Grand Prix. And they want to see the tag division flourish, and I think they've achieved their goal because it is definitely flourishing right now. If anyone else would like to give their thoughts on, just the climate of the tag division right now, be my guest. I don't mind being interrupted.
I think it's definitely getting up there. I want to see, more tag teams, newer tag teams. I want to see some fresh tag teams in the division. Being unbiased, you know what I'm saying? Seeing FTB and FTB Gold in the Grand Prix was, regardless of how you feel about FTB, it was refreshing because we were able to see superstars who have never tagged together before come together as a team and add a little bit of flavor to the tag team division. And I think, that's good. that's good for the tag division. And I can't wait to see any of these superstars that later on decide, maybe I want to be in a tag team. I like Tenacious and CDC, regardless of CDC being in the that's my second. Okay. Regardless of CDC being in a slump right now, seeing him and Tenacious tag together was refreshing just because they're two superstars we've never seen, work together in this fashion before.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Wait, never
But
mind, never mind. I have a turn to go. Never mind. I forgot. I have to talk after. Sorry.
And
okay.
yeah, damn, I threw a train of thought off. Yeah, I think overall, I'm just eager to see like more, new tag teams. I've seen the tag teams that have solidified themselves as top tag teams in the company. I just want to see fresh talent in the tag team division, and I'm kind of, I'm just kind of trying to figure out, where are they at, man? Come on. We need some new tags. I want to see some new tags out there, man. I'm gonna pass it to Vibez. I see he had something he'd like to say.
Yeah, sorry about cutting you off. I was gonna say but I just remembered I also have a turn to speak my my thoughts too. My bad. But of course, the tag division, I can tell you, this Grand Prix was nothing short of the best idea I have seen in SMW. Okay, the fact that tag teams we have never seen before, individuals we have never seen tag with anyone before, was just phenomenal. Um, I'm gonna speak about lower down the list, the likes of Tenacious B and the man himself, CDC, going, trying to see if they can salvage something. Unfortunately, it wasn't too successful for them. But at the same time, the fact that they were able to, come to a mutual decision that we're gonna head into the tag division, we're gonna try something new. It's it speaks I don't want to use the word all the time because it's a new year, new style, new us, but it speaks levels to people mentality here in SMW. I mean, everybody wants to be a singles champion and go on to main event the big shows and make the big monies and have the big names and everything. But being in the tag team division, people see it as a downgrade. Yes, I would say that. They would say seeing it as, you know, a fall back or a fall from grace, or you can't do it in singles, you're gonna just tag with someone and just drop down. Nah. Tag team division is harder than singles competition because you not only depend on yourself, you depend on your partner to ensure that the two of you guys have a very good team and are able to capture whether it is the goal or just the win. Moving up the line, I would say EOP, a very new tag team to SNW, and they have been doing bits, collecting 9 points, fighting well at the top of the table for, I would say, 2 weeks straight, being on top of the game, but fell short. Right, the likes of the six shooters. Nobody expected to see Floki back in tag team action. I mean, he was crucified. When I say crucified, we put this man on a piece of wood with nails to his hands and his feet when it came to him being in tag team division. All right. And I feel like nobody really understood, what it takes to be in the tag team division. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of trust, a lot of communication between individuals. And I feel like, Floki and Leo Marshall had that. It's just unfortunate they fell off towards the end. They were projected to win. After the first 2 weeks, they were 2 wins in, 3 wins in, and then it just fell from grace from there. But then they met the tag teams that nobody really expected to tag. Go right ahead.
No, mine is just real quick. I think that okay. So the narrative that being in a tag team is a fallback or fall from grace. That narrative was created by us, the SMW multiverse. I've seen people go into tag team and then, be criticized for it, told, oh, well, you sucked when you were in singles competition, so you went to the tag division. I think that kind of has created um a black cloud over the tag division, and it makes certain superstars, look at it like, nah, I don't really want to, go into the tag division because then, people are going to think, oh, I just did this because I couldn't cut it in singles competition. Not everyone has tough skin where they can handle that type of backlash and stuff. So I really feel like, the black cloud that's over the tag division was kind of created by us. So I think we have to change that narrative, seeing as how we kind of created it. But that's just my thoughts on it.
Mr. Jamar.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done. I
Yeah,
just
Oh, I'm
allowed.
sorry.
Yeah,
after Voy.
yeah, I just allowed
Yeah, go
Rory to
ahead. Go
go.
ahead.
But I agree with what Rory is saying. We created this narrative that going into the tag division was a fall from grace. But at the same time, I always said it. The tag division made a lot of individuals in SMW. All right. Look at I'll always use this man as an example. Mr. Raiden Wilson. Mr. Raiden Wilson coming into SMW was not the best of competitors. He was winning here and there, losing more than winning. Joined the likes of Rax and created the Guardsmen that went on to be, at the time, the best tag team, the tag team to beat. Left the tag team division. TW1, championship opportunities after championship opportunities. And look at him today. I will continue using this man as an example. I feel like the tag team division will be touched by every single individual. Look at the likes of the greats who have walked through SMW. Romy Savage touched the tag team division at some point in time. If you want to call yourself a Grand Slam champion, guess what? You have to touch the tag division at some point in time. Am I wrong? No, I'm not. All right, you can go for Triple Crown in tags in mid card and World Championship. Yeah, you can do that. Can you call yourself a Grand Slam champion without touching the tag team division? No. And I feel like that's where we went wrong. All right. Now going back to the Grand Prix tournament. Like I was saying, we were seeing a lot of individuals that we never expected to join the tag team division. Not tooting my own horn, of course. I don't normally talk about myself like that, but FTB Gold. Fun fact, between these two teams, each one of them have become world heavyweight champion at some point in time. From Nico Vibez, Deshaun Walker, Silas Foster, and Razor himself. People looked at them as powerhouse team, but yet they still had teams that beat them, yeah? Olympus, Ramon, individual we never ever thought would have entered the tag division, is in the tag division. Jackson Drake, history maker, tag division. I'm telling you, the tag division is not as bad as we make it seem. People want to go for the single title. Your reign here in SMW is long. Knock on wood that it is very long. I'm telling you, by God's grace. We have years to see in SMW. Don't make going to the tag division seem like a bad thing. See it as an opportunity to grow. See this as an opportunity to become a Grand Slam champion. The Jade Nearys, the Owen Stevens, these individuals I would never expect to go to the tag division. And they went. DJ. Shin. Shin by himself is disregard. Shin by himself is something I can't even speak on because this man ain't human. But DJ, a man who was on a tear, needed a reset, joined the tag division and watch at him now. A lot of people see the tag division as something that is a downgrade, a disrespectful move, or a fallout in your career. But guess what? Being in the tag division is 1, new beginning, 2, new opportunities. And would you imagine that? Being in a tag team means you can go to any brand. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, now you know. You can go to any brand to fight any other tag team a member. So if Silas Foster is on Platinum, he can go over to Supreme to fight Isaiah Mercer. Sets up opportunities, like I said. Get your name out there. And guess what? You pick up wins much, much faster. Because one can be on one end, the other on the other end. You're both doing work, both picking up wins. And guess what? You can become champion within a snap of a finger. Keep that in mind. Because it'll go a long way. Thank you.
Jamar, if you'd like to give your piece, go ahead.
Yes, of course. Man, I absolutely love where the tag team division is today. If you would have looked at this tag team division, I would say maybe 2 months ago. I would say 2 months ago, or maybe 3 months ago now, when the grand exodus of the KXC tag division and the main roster tag division were being combined because we just didn't have enough teams to really uphold 2 divisions, and we had to combine them into one. That was a sad day for tag team wrestling. That was a sad period of time for tag wrestling. Because before that, we had 2 flourishing divisions that were so distinct to each other, with KXT having quite arguably the division that was carrying KXT at the time with their storylines and their action, with teams like the Circus, High Rollers, MTK, Pretty Deadly, The Red Line, FCM. Like, those teams were the backbone to what KXT needed at the time, and was such a breath of fresh air because we finally got new tag teams in SMW that was needed for a long time. And then on the main roster, you had like PTSD, the Cool Hearts, the Guardsmen, so many other teams as well at the time, and just to see that kind of crumble in front of you in just a quick instant is heartbreaking, because the talent that's in the tag team division is outstanding, and you can pick any member out of the tag teams then, and you can absolutely point at them and say, hey, yeah, they had qualities to be one of the best talents in SMW. And that's why I'm so glad that now we have a tag team division that is so alive and so flourishing. And part of that is because of the global, the tag team Grand Prix that happened on the Lead to Doomsday. part of that is people just wanting to be in tag teams in general, just changing up what they really wanted to do here. Because, you know, before the Grand Prix was announced, FTB announced that Razor and Silas were going to be a team together. Their Empire Pain was just kind of getting their bearings underneath them. Six True Society were coming into their own. And you had your, you know, established teams like PTSDJ, at the time Live to Sting, and the Red Line. High Rollers at one point were still up here on the main roster, but unfortunately they disbanded and they are now not here in SMW. But now, like, the strength of the tag team division is wild. It's wild. We have so many combinations that go into the tag team division that we've never thought we'd see. 2 FTB teams, Six True Society still showing that they can compete, but have a long journey ahead of them. Empire Pain is trying to make names for themselves, still in the tag team division. PTSDJ is like a shock to the system because I feel like they were the basis of what the Grand Prix could have been. 2 people that you wouldn't normally see together, but have the ability to mesh and become one of the best teams in SMW today. I mean, Olympus is there. Money, Power, Respect is here. The Sanctuary is back together. And of course, you got the Red Line. The tag team division is just full of so much talent. It's so many hardworking individuals. In my opinion, it's being in a tag team is next to the hardest task of being a champion, in my opinion. Because you're not only worried about yourself, you have to worry about your partner as well. In the ring, you're responsible for 2 people. Outside the ring, you're responsible for 2 people. You have to look out for your partner. You gotta make sure they're all right. You have to sometimes jump in and save them and you're gonna get ridiculed for what your partner does, for what you do. There's a lot of weight that we put on tag team competitors. You know, the scales tip when it comes to pressure. You know, perfect example is the Six True Society with Floki and Leo Marshall. We all know the situation with that. But it's hard. It's hard being in this tag division, and it's hard putting in the dedication and the work to be together in that sense. But it's fulfilling and rewarding and such a major accomplishment to grind your way through this tag team division and let alone be a tag champion. Even once over, it's even greater if you're a tag champion multiple times on multiple levels. It's incredible that we have this tag division now, and I really hope that we get to see more tag teams come into the division and have an even fresher look for 2024. I want to see some people from KXT get together and form their own tag teams and see if they can compete with the well-established tag teams up here. I want to see some main roster talents maybe get together and bump heads and see if they can coexist together as well. I want this tag team division to absolutely run through 2024 without interruptions, without doubt, without having to disband or merge titles because there's not enough competition. I want the tag team division to be the must-see act of any show on SMW. And that's not just for main roster SMW, that's for GEW and FPW as well. I want to see all 3 brands absolutely like flourish in the tag team division. I want to see it. And I hope that we can absolutely keep this momentum going when it comes to tag team wrestling, because tag team wrestling is so great. You get some of the best matches of the week. Like, for example, like Redline versus Six True Society yesterday was a great match, back and forth. You didn't know who was going to win, and the quality of the match was great. Like you had PTSDJ versus Six-Year Society a little earlier in the week as well. That match was great. Like these tag teams can be some of just the greatest. And I really hope that we continue that momentum into 2024 because man, this is a prime time for tag team wrestling.
I mean, there's not much else to say on that topic. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, man, yeah, I would love to see, I mean, yeah, the tag division is wrapping up, and yesterday definitely proved that because, like you said, that tag match between the Red Line and Six Shooter Society was extremely back and forth. It could have come down to either of those teams walking out of their global tag team champions, and I feel like that's what the division needs and needs to continue having, is competition. Hey, the sun's coming out. So yeah, um, there's something going on over there. I don't know what's happening over there. Um, uh, I'm gonna move over to our next topic because I don't know what's going on over there. This next topic, I'm gonna bring it up next week because the other guy who was supposed to be here isn't here. So we're gonna skip that topic and go right straight into our match of the week. And by unanimous decision, all of us reporters, we voted on it, and it was clear that the only right answer, was Sebastian Saint versus Brody Allen on Platinum yesterday. That match was amazing. It was incredible. It was a very, very good match. And I mean, I expected a good match. I expected a good match, but I expected a dominant performance from Sebastian Saint, and what we got was a technical masterclass. I suppose you could say. It was very back and forth. It's like they've been studying each other. It was very, very good all the way down to the last move. And what the hell is going on in the chat? I think that either of those guys, I both of those guys needed that win. I think both of those guys did need that win. I think it was always going to come down to who wanted it more. Not to say that Sebastian didn't want it more, but just in that specific instance, it was a coming down to the last move type situation, And that Boston Crab is ridiculous. That Boston Crab is absolutely ridiculous. It is a very, we talked about this before. The week before last, where we said that that move is very dangerous because it kind of just catches people off guard because he just slides between your legs and gets you in a Boston Crab, like a Walls of Jericho type move. It's very, very effective. And it's hard to counter. And I don't think I think Sebastian was expecting it, but I don't think he expected it at that point in the match. So yeah, hats off to them for delivering an amazing match. And just an incredible just vibe about that match. I think it was very well structured. I am gonna pass the mic over to where the heck did he go? I guess he stepped out to go to the bathroom, but we do have a caller. Calling in right now. We're gonna patch him through. It is Mr. Sebastian Saint. Hello, Mr. Sebastian Saint. You're on the line. You're live. Hello.
Hey, get off me! Get off me! I'm on the mic. Not right now. Hold the line. What's
my
up?
Hello, Mr. Saint. You're a bit busy, I presume.
No, don't worry about all that.
Oh boy.
Just want to let you know we are live on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Facebook Live. We are live on many platforms. So
Oh shit! Yeah. Hold on, y'all ain't got no cameras on. Okay. Woo! Let me wipe this sweat. Okay, let's get to the point here. The kids got it, man. You know, I don't do this to a lot of superstars. When I do this, it's true respect. He showed his prowess as a submissionist. But I also want to say that little fucker's fast. That little fucker is fast. I knew what he was going for because I watched the tapes. When he was running at me, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to, get in position. By the time I fucking did that, I looked down and he was already.
Hey, Mr. Sebastian, that's 3 F words back to back. We're gonna have to reel it in. Calm down.
so quick.
I apologize. I get so hyped, sipping on this Reaper aid, it gets me pumped up. Yeah, by the time I, got in position to stop him, he was already grabbing a hold of my legs, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? But before I could even, process what was going on, my face was smacking the ground and my knees were being bent, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I skipped leg day this week, and yeah, no, he definitely he definitely has it as a submissionist. I'm not here to take anything away from him. I tapped out fair and square, which means that he was the better submissionist. He definitely got it. I just want him to keep going hard, keep calling out big names and making them tap out. You the kid and you always deliver, man. Keep tapping these big names out, man. I really like what you're doing, kid. Stick to that. And as long as you stay out of FTB's way, there will be no problem. So I apologize for the cuss limit, but fuck you, fuck your opinion, fuck them bitches.
Bruh, the FCP is going to be after us. Thank you, Mr. Sebastian. Well, that's fine. That is a fine. That's great.
Wow. Jeez, Louise. I wish we had a censor sometimes.
We should run on like a 10-second delay, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little, a delay. Yeah, a delay would help, huh?
Especially for when Sebastian gets on, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, match of the week. Marcus, we haven't heard from you in a while, actually. I apologize. So, I would like to hear your thoughts on this match, Sebastian Saint versus Brody Allen.
Yes, this match was well deserved for match of the week. I mean, you didn't know who was going to win. At one point, you saw Sebastian hit his finishing move not once but twice, and most people thought it's going to be over, seeing that's how he won the championship. And he kicked out. Brody kicked out and kept kicking out. Brody got hit with all of Sebastian Saint's offense, whether it be the BLE, whether it be the God driver. He got hit with everything, and the kitchen sink, and still managed to get the win. So I feel like there was no other match that especially this week, that you felt like, okay, we don't know who was gonna win. Brody and Sebastian was definitely well worth it, and definitely a match I would suggest who aren't familiar with the product to watch again, because that is what our champions do here at SMW.
Thank you, Mr.
Do any other reporters, have any thoughts on that that fantastic match between Mr. Brody Allen and Sebastian Saint?
No, you guys basically covered it. It was a great match. Brody's really honing into his own as a submissionist. I can't wait to see what they do next because I remember from yesterday, Sebastian did challenge Brody to a scrap trap match in 2 weeks. So we'll see if Brody does accept that challenge. Should he? That's up to him.
That's up to him.
Why
Yeah.
not? Brody's been on the tear. Why not?
Right. Why not challenge yourself and push your limits in something you're not even that's way out of your comfort zone as well. Sebastian's in his element, but what a way to test yourself and assert your dominance if you beat him,
especially against one of the other champions here on this brand.
Exactly. So that's totally up to Brody, but I hope the match happens because that if their first match is any evidence of what they can do together, then man, that match is gonna be great.
All right. Well, if that's the case, nobody else has any. We covered it all basically. Then I guess we will move on to our last and final topic, which is power rankings. Everyone, power rankings for this week. I'm sure a lot of you guys are really excited about this one. I am too.
Definitely, it's our first. It's our first of 2024.
Yeah, our first bit of power rankings, and I excuse me, hang on while I get the power rankings. My phone's being very slow. I apologize.
It's good, man.
Jeez Louise.
My iPad sometimes mess up too.
Yeah. Okay. So the rankings for this week, and these are in order, are number 1 for the power rankings this week in SMW is Mr. Brody Allen. None other than Mr. Brody Allen.
I knew it.
He had a very dominant week.
Congratulations.
Beating 2 FTB members, in very convincing fashion, So I'd say very, very well deserved. Let's clap it up for Mr. Brody Allen.
No, we're not clapping.
Clap.
Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap.
Yeah, Roy's not.
Number two would have to go straight to the red line. The red line.
Ooh.
It was a very close battle for first and second. Red line winning back their titles and successfully defending them the very next night. So it was very hard to decide on these two. Where they should go. If red line should go first. Or Brody Allen should go first. But ultimately, red line strong number 2 for this week in the power rankings. Yes, you did get first, Mr. Brody Allen. Number three for this week. I think you guys are gonna like this one. Number 3 for this week, Mr. Eric Myers. Mr. Eric Myers getting that number 3 spot. For the first power ranking of 2024, and I'd say that's a very good spot for him to be at. And I think it won't be long until you see him, getting number 1 pretty consistently. Moving on, nextly, we have number 4, CCN grabbing that number 4 spot. He did get a very dominant win over main event Martin. I will admit that was a very impressive win. He didn't get hit with I don't think not one Showtime kick. Not a lot of people can say they've escaped Isaiah Martin without getting hit with a Showtime kick. So,
Main event kick.
main event kick. Sorry. Thank you. I'm only human, guys. I'm sorry. Oops. And lastly, at number 5 for the power rankings, we have none other than the madman, Romy Savage. Romy Savage getting that strong number 5, top 5 amongst the power rankings. And I think this is a perfect power ranking for the first, week of 2024, for the first week of SMW for 2024. I think this is a perfect power ranking. I think this is,
Todd, I
very-
hope you in character right now.
huh?
My bad, bro.
Oh, sorry. But I just saw that message. I'm gonna ignore that. Yeah, I think that these power rankings very well put together. I think I agree with all of the placement. And I can't wait to see where who else gets top of the power rankings. Next week. And the week after, and just throughout the whole year. This is big. I think this is also going to give people more incentive to want to showcase themselves, to want to put themselves out there, get in matches, cut their promos and things like that. To maybe, they're going to want to, see themselves in the power rankings when we do Reporter Rumble every week. They're going to want to be like, oh, well, I think I was number 1, or, I am number 1 in the power rankings, or, I was number 2, or I got number 1 the most times in this month or this year, and things like that. I think it's a very good incentive for some of these superstars, that like to, that they're the best and things like that. And so I can't wait for next week to see who comes out on top of the power rankings. Honorable mentions? No honorable mentions. No honorable mentions. Maybe we could consult with the judges, and maybe they might do one honorable mention next week. I beat up CDC for nothing. Question: how did the choices go about for this? I wasn't a part of it. You would have to ask the other people who are involved in that. I'm not part of the decision making.
I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead, because they picked the most unbiased people, and we picked who we felt would be the most unbiased. And so, go ahead, Jamar.
Yes. So the panel is me, Jamar Burrows, Marcus Fox, and Romy Savage. We wanted a wrestler that is also on the reporting team to kind of be in this, because Romy has a different viewpoint from the reporters, because he's actually in the ring compared to us. So us three, we look at the matches, how many matches they had in the week, if they won or lost, the quality of match, and who their opponents were. So in case of Brody, he went against 2 champions. A former champion and a current champion in Jackie Jonathan and Sebastian Saint. 2 quality wins, 2 quality ways that he won. Pinning Jackie Jonathan, submitting a technical wrestler such as Sebastian Saint, landed him on top of the rankings, and deservedly so. So that's just the criteria that we look at. And it's the first week, so not everything's gonna be perfect. I think we nailed it this week, though. But there are gonna be other weeks that we might get wrong. It just depends. It's a learning process. There could have been like 6 or 7 names that we could have put on this list from how they performed this week. So I'm excited. We're excited. This panel is excited to pick out power rankings. And at the end of the month, we're going to do a huge top 10 wrestlers of the month. So just be on the lookout for everything. And, just come on this journey with us, because we're learning as well. So Yeah, that's how we're basically doing it.
Oh, and also, I'm not on the panel or whatever, but um, yes, you can, Brody. My personal honorable mention would be it would be Silas Foster, because he showed up after banging back 6 shots before he went out to the match and still kicked some guy's ass. So that would be my personal honorable mention. But I know some people might think different, so I digress.
Right. Like we switched out a couple of names like from the list. We had like we threw out names. We had some like definite guaranteed names that we wanted on the list. Some were on the list that unfortunately like we kind of weighted against other wrestlers that made it, and we felt like their performance were better than the other wrestlers' performance. So, you know, it's subjective, but like it's fair. It's fair. Like you can look at it and be like, okay, that makes sense. It's not biased or anything. Like these decisions, this list actually is a valid top 5 list, and that's the goal for each week.
My bad. Y'all were right. It is just 3. I'm sorry. There was no more person. I'm sorry. Yeah. Does this just count SMW? Just SMW. Just SMW. Just SMW. At least that's right. You should ask them. I'm sorry. Oops.
No, it should have consisted of SMW, KXT, GEW type, but that's okay. But yeah, it was supposed to be an overall of everything that we saw all week.
Oh, okay. Well, keep that in mind, everybody. It's overall throughout the multiverse. So yeah, never tie. Yeah, I think. Yeah, no. But yeah. I mean, that's it. That's the show. So I'm gonna wrap us up here. Thank you all for coming through and watching. It wouldn't be no show without y'all. So thank you all for coming through and watching this special episode of Reporter Rumble, the first one of the year. And I just want to say thank you to all our not real sponsors. I just want to clarify these sponsors are not real.
Mr. Oliver.
What?
But before you hit the sponsors, Rusty has.
I'm literally right here, Nothing.
Rusty has an allotted amount of a certain word he can say, so he's going to go ahead and knock that out. That is bitch, and bitch. That's it for me. I appreciate you, Oliver. Thank you.
Of course, Mr. Rusty.
I've been here the whole time.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm only gonna do, since this is Reporter Rumble, I'm only gonna do like 3 of our sponsors, if that's cool with everybody. And the first one is gonna be Reaper Aid. Reaper Aid. It has a lot of slogans. My favorite one though is "It's to Die For." That's my favorite one. I really like that one. If you're dying of thirst, it'll quench you. Reaper Aid. Lots of various flavors. I drank some of that stuff last time. It was very delicious. Very delicious. Somebody said I did a backflip or something. I don't even remember that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Unless you got video proof, I don't believe you. I can't do a backflip. I'm not an athletic guy. Maybe Voy was doing backflips. I've never done a backflip a day in my life. But Reaper Aid, what do you reap for? I like that. That logo is cool. I like that. Oh man, that's so cool. Our next sponsor, of course, SMW Merch Shop. Get your merch. We got Floki merch. 12 Months of Logie merch, Silas Foster merch, Jack Jonathan merch, Razor merch, Jade Nary's merch, uh, uh, KXT merch. You know, all the brands, I believe. You know, and you know, we got all the merch. We got all the merch you could ever want. So if you want it, go and get it. Go and buy it right now. Go do it. What are you waiting for? Go. Hurry up. Go to the shop. Go buy it. It's awesome. It's great. You can wear your favorite superstars merch all around town. You can go to a little WWE event. Be like, hey, look at my merch. They're gonna be like, who is that? You're gonna be like, oh, you don't know who that is? Loser. Yeah, exactly. So go get the merch. Hurry up. Go ahead. Stop listening to me talk. Go get the merch right now. And our final sponsor, of course, we're sponsored by none other, fake sponsored by none other than Folgers. Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. That's right. Again, I say Folgers in your cup. That is a fake sponsor. Please don't sue us. I'm begging. We all rights retained to Folgers. We're not really sponsored by them. It's a fake sponsor, I promise. Yeah. And that's it. It's time we wrap it up now. Wrap it up like some potato chips. I've been, you know, your host of this very special first of the year edition of Reporter Rumble. My name is Oliver Skip. That over there is Mr. Rusty Shackelford.
See you, fellas.
That over there, right there, trusty compatriot, Mr. Voy Voy.
See ya. See you guys.
Mr. Rory Lyons.
RAR XD.
Mr. Malachi.
See you guys.
Mr. Jamar Burrows.
Have a good one. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's right. Happy New Year. It doesn't feel like the New Year. That's crazy. Mr. Marcus Fox. That's okay. He said bye. It's okay. He waved. He's a little shy. And of course, none other than Mr. Top 3, Tex Johnson. Dang.
Yeah, he ain't here.
Yeah.
You literally just said Tex Johnson. That's all you said. What the fuck?
Yeah,
No,
chill.
Hey, hold on. Who you getting loud with, nigga?
Yeah, bro, you can allow it.
Bro, hey, Malachi, shut your... Ooh, I ain't even use my cuss words. Shut your bitch ass up.
Whoa.
Either, so you shut your
Are we
bitch ass
still
up.
live, guys? Hopefully
Whoa.
not.
No, I had to use my cuss words. I had to use my cuss words.
Yeah, all at once.
Wow.
You did it too, You did it too, Rusty. I heard you, bitch.
Yeah,
I
at the
can't
end
even
of the
say that.
show to be funny,
Yo.
you got all hype.
Well, okay. Well, before you guys start going crazy, let's end this one off. Thank you, everyone, for watching us here on Reporter Rumble. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. And as a wise man once said, be humble, dare to dream, and catch the